goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing out. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary.
I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on the battlefield, a survivor never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat of my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. You can't control this, I'm explosive. You can't control this, it's 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 explosive.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here tonight at LSRTV. Clearly, I am not Wesley. I am not Jason, but we're going to make it work. Alongside me here tonight is, well, the one and only Brody Hanna. Brody, welcome back to the booth, and we get you all season, I do believe, if I'm correct.
That is correct. I'll be here all season, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to tonight as well, man. We've got a exciting one on tap here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the FTSR Mach 1 Performance Cup Series here, presented by Mach 1 Performance, Victory Fuel, and SimRacingPoints.com. Looking forward to it, Charles. We're going to have some fun tonight.
We are definitely going to have some fun, and we were just about to talk about it. We've been talking about it all afternoon as we were getting in here. It is foggy, like really foggy for these guys. It doesn't look so bad down here, so maybe it's a high level fog. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. It is a day race, I will say that, but it is overcast big time with the Kaufman creative weather conditions. And this is a new, we're still perfecting some of this. We do have the new time of day in there. It's in 24 hour, but we added that in. We're kind of debuting new overlays here tonight. And no, we did not make them red, white, and blue for Memorial Day. That is just the colors.
America.
Yes, we're America. We're going with it. But no, we're doing more stuff with Race On. Our kind of old parent company. They don't know it anymore, but we're doing stuff. But 73 degrees, not a bad temperature here, Brody, for a night of racing.
It's not, and honestly, it'll go down as we go anyway. The overcast skies have kind of helped keep the track temp kind of low, but it will drop a little bit as we go throughout the night. It is reaching about, and we just clicked over to 8 o'clock right now. So we're going to be getting into the nighttime hours. Things are going to cool off. The fog's going to dissipate, and we're going to have some great racing and 200 laps of racing, Charles, tonight. A long race tonight.
Yeah, and for those that wondering if you might have heard, if you're in the Discord, it wasn't 200, or it was 200 laps, and it was not 200 laps, and then we went to Brody, and we're like, Brody, we're off for 10 o'clock race. We don't have nothing. Hey. And he was like, God, we're going back to 200 laps then. So,
yeah, you were like, do that. I was like, well, let's do it then, because everybody kind of wanted to run a longer race. They wanted some strategy elements in it, so this is going to introduce a little more options for some of those guys.
And I will state this, Brody, going into this, when I said, hey, let's do 200 laps, I didn't know I was going to have to be in the booth. So that did play into my decision factor. But no, 200 laps, I'm looking forward to it. Just because, like you said, it adds that extra strategy to the race.
We are a man down, and also I'm kind of struggling with some sinus issues and some maybe a little bit of a sickness. So I hope you guys will put up with me as we go throughout the night, me and Charles both, because we're going to be kind of struggling through this. But we'll keep you guys entertained nonetheless. We always try to do that, keep you guys informed and entertained. Again, the on-track product, I have no doubt we'll put the show. We're going to just try to keep up with it here in the booth.
Yeah, and I'm going to fully put this out there to all the fans watching. If you say this is one of the best broadcasts you've watched, you will have a psyche eval coming.
You are lying.
Yes, you were lying, and we'll have a psyche eval coming after the race is over. But Ben Tracy at the top of the charts right now. We'll see if anybody can top him. Let's jump over. We got some names I've got to get used to, and I mispronounced this one, but you definitely corrected me. That is Matthew. I done forgot how you pronounce it.
Matthew Vacon, Jonathan Vacon, and Danny. I forgot his last name. I'm sorry. LaFleur. Those guys will be coming from north of the border, along with Nicholas Moreau, who I don't know if that is here tonight. That's a new team. Just want to say new. They've been with FTSR for a while. They're coming back. Looking forward to having those guys back, and those guys are always fast. So we'll probably be talking about them throughout the night.
Yeah, and I do apologize for that, McCorn, there. And I think it's my Texas education. We like making as short as syllables as we can. They don't tell you where to put the syllable thing.
I mean, Charles, Texas is one of the shortest names for a state, so I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, see, we're not used to doing stuff like that, crooked letter state and stuff, where you gotta go like Mississippi and stuff. We don't have none of it. We're just Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, even people in Texas call it Tejas and get it wrong. So go figure. But as we watch Bill Hole get it come out.
Pretty good lap there, but man, some of these guys are setting down some pretty good, pretty strong laps here.
Yeah, and we will be checking on these drivers throughout the night because I heard a couple of them talking about special paint jobs for Memorial Day. And
oh yeah,
I big props to these. It was like 31 at last count. So, what better way to celebrate, Memorial Day? You got new red, white, and blue overlays. You got red, white, and blue walls at Charlotte. I don't think of a better way to celebrate.
Listen, Charles, this guy right here, we'll watch him, see what kind of lap he puts down because he was fast in practice. But I will say this, there is zero chance that rain will shorten this race tonight, guys. So we will get the full 200 laps in, I guarantee you. As long as iRacing stays compatible with us here. But we have zero chance of rain affecting the end of this race. So we're going to see a full race tonight. So no worries after last night.
Yes, and it did take me about 20 minutes to get in the lobby. It didn't want to load, but like you said, as long as everything cooperates, we will have no rainouts, maybe a little foggy. And I'm interested if it stays as foggy as it is once it gets darker and the lights come on. Is that going to play any factor into how well they can see out there?
I think the fog should dissipate when it gets in the dark a little bit here. And you do see Jeff Chandler out there now. He's setting his first lap. We'll see if Bill Hall's able to do anything, who we were just watching complete his lap. Bill Hall slots into third place now. Jeff Chandler's coming to complete his first lap. That's another one of those cool little red, white, and blue paint schemes we were talking about. The Honor and the Remember paint schemes. And I think Jeff Chandler said he's actually got his painter, the dad of his painter, I think, is riding along with him in the car or on the car tonight. He's honoring him.
Yeah, he did. He mentioned Dad being on the car, and that's it's always a cool thing when you see those tribute things. That's going to do it. As qualifying is officially over. Didn't quite get to finish his lap, but I am very interested as to our new pole driver here. As we get that music rolling, we'll go ahead and get through your starting grid, which is also new, red, white, and blue. And the red numbers, we do apologize. A little hard to read on the sidebar, but fairly easy to read here on the grid for us because we're both blind. And on row one is going to be the 62 of John Ballou, which very interesting. New guy here. See how he's going to do. Routes alongside him going to be the 35 of Ben Tracy. In row two is going to be the 51 of Bill Hull and Richie Coy in the 19. In row three is going to be the 20 of TJ Bartel and the 24 of Jose Acosta. All kind of familiar names. So we get back here a little ways. The 22 of Michael Blackner, obviously familiar. And the 99 of, how did you pronounce his last name?
Danny LaFleur.
Danny LaFleur. We'll definitely struggle with that one with Danny. We do apologize. In row five, rounding out your top 10 is going to be the 10 of Colton Gum and the 48 of Jamie Knopf.
In 11th place is going to be the 7 Nick Moreau, author of Moreau Motorsports. On the outside of him is 15 of Jake Orler, making his start here at Charlotte. Row 7, starting in 13th, it's going to be Daniel Simmons in the 06. On the outside of him, it's going to be Jonathan Bacon in the 97. 15th place is going to be the 42 of Kyle Milken in that elevated esports toy. To the outside of him, it's going to be Dave Nestor in the Wolfpack Racing Team Chevrolet. Starting 17th is going to be the 01 Nathan Biggert, one we're going to kind of keep an eye on. And on the outside of him, it's going to be the 8 Wayne Allen. 19th is going to be the 33 Randy Belk, and to the outside of him is going to be Matt Bacon in the 26 Chevrolet.
There, no, row 11 going to be the 21 of John Ross and the 2 of Alan Duranco. I just love that name, Duranco, by the way. Row 12 going to be Wayne Grassi in the 7 and the 3 of Sherwood Williford. Row 13 going to be the 57 of Joshua Johnson and the 11 of Tony Solari. I believe he is one of our special paint jobs there. The 31 of Jeff Chandler on row 14 and the 67 of James Wallace. Row 15 going to round out your top 30 drivers. We believe, yes, going to be the 37 of Brian Dublé and the 12 of Joseph Grajava. not many more drivers left, so we'll run through row 16. Going to be the 47 of Ryan Hedrick and the 6 of James Torrey. And row 17, rounding out the field, is going to be Alan Crowell in the 54. And Brody, we have a really, really good race lined up here for tonight.
We've got cars out there tonight. Guys at the back are going to have to be patient. They got to realize there's 200 laps, 300 miles to get through here. There's a lot of strong competition out here as well. These going to have to manage their time. The track's going to change. The cars are going to change going into the night. A lot of things to think about. A lot of mind games to be played here tonight.
Yeah, and that's like we mentioned it a little bit, and we'll mention it throughout the night. It's gonna be strategy. And why it's a strategy is we take the green, we'll pop it up real quick. No fast repair, 100% fuel, 4 tire sets, 3 green or white checkers. But we have a stage at lap 50, and then the rest is all the way to the end because Brody only 1 stage, technically 2. But only 1 stage caution here instead of the 2 is going to make it real interesting without having that second one.
Absolutely. As they take the green flag, it looks like the 62 is going to jump out front, although the 35 is challenging, but he's going to take the lead here. The 62 is going to lead him down the backstretch. Blue in front of Tracy, Coy, Hull, and the 24 of Acosta rounding out your top 5.
And I'm always interested, like I said, to see somebody like the 62 of John Blue out front. A new driver here. This is only, his second or third race, Brody, when he's out front leading this thing.
Yeah, he's new. He was quick in trucks earlier this week, and Shawnee had a lot of pace. I'm not surprised that he's up front. But one of the things coming into league racing, you've got to get used to the guys you're racing, and they've got to get used to you. So that's going to be kind of the name of the game here tonight as he kind of starts off at the front. He's going to have to work his way around some of these guys.
Yeah, he is going to have to, pace himself for one. Like you said, he's going to have to learn how these other drivers are and, learn to drive around them. That's coming to a new league, like you just said, it's a whole new thing. And that's why people love leagues more than official. I know I watched some official races this week, and, you race them one time, if you irritate them, you might not see them very often. Here, you're going to race with these guys all season long, so you got to really, really learn the competition and learn to race around them cleanly. And that's one thing, and I talk about this, I'll talk about it with you here too, is this league promotes and does a really good job of having clean racing. And no, we're not just sucking up to Brody because he's in the booth. It's just a fact here. Y'all have really good, clean racing.
Listen, there's really not much I can do as far as clean racing. I can drive the car, so anytime anybody mentions the clean racing here, it's all credit to these drivers that are out here doing this. And honestly, you kind of see why these guys are kind of taking their time, pacing themselves, and realize you can't win it on lap 1, but you can lose it on lap 1. And with this being an extra long race, this is another thing these guys have to realize that, we've got a really long way to go. A lot's going to change between now and then. Where you run now is not really important. Where you run at lap 200 is kind of what pays the bills. I know we have a stage at lap 50 that's kind of a longer stage as well. So these guys really have to pace themselves as far as saving the tires and stuff as well. So I'm sure all these guys are kind of running just as hard as they need to stay in front of the guys in front of them. We've got a battle for second, though. The 24 of Acosta is going to go for that third position, but the 35 is going to hold him off. A pretty good run through the middle. Although here comes the 24 challenge for third place.
Yeah, we got to give these guys their due, and we've seen this over and over again. We kind of will focus on these guys, and we will go back to the back, and we see battles back there. But as you mentioned, they're doing what they need to do, and somebody battling for second, third right now, like you see Costa doing with the 35 of Tracy, doesn't mean they're going to be up there later on in this race. You've got people in the back that are more than capable of being up there. You go a little further back to the top 15. You got the 01 of Biggert, Nathan Biggert back there, Simmons. These guys, Malikian, none of them are slouches. They may be in the back right now by choice, not necessarily just because of a slow car. They're just kind of minding their P's and Q's, figure out what they want to do.
Well, you're talking about Biggert. Biggert's up 3 positions up to 14th place. He's gained 3. You got Jamie Knopf, who's gained 3 positions up to 7th. Danny LaFleur, up 3 positions as well. Some of these guys starting to make moves towards the front. But again, you've got to watch that tire wear. Make sure you take care of your stuff. And make sure you're around at the end, because I love this saying: to finish first, you must first finish.
That is true. You definitely
got a lead change. We just had the 19 go around the 62 for the lead, so that's going to put Coy up front. 19, Richie Coy's going to take the lead in one of those special paint schemes as well. And now here comes the 62 back to the inside. These guys are going to battle for it. And you got the 24 of Acosta, who we know can kind of put himself in position to be in. It's not afraid to make some aggressive moves.
Yeah, and it looks like the 62 didn't like you talking about him losing the lead, because he coming back with vengeance on the inside. He's going to try and just not quite get there. He may get him at the line. We'll see a real close one here. And no, that was about as close as you could possibly get to not leading the race, as they are side by side. And Brody, in any form of racing, especially on a track like this, when you go side by side, it allows the rest of the field to catch up. And that's exactly what's happening with Acosta, LaFleur, Tracy. They're starting to reel these guys in a little bit more.
Yeah, it's tough on that bottom, too. I see the 62 trying to wrap the bottom. It's tough to keep your car down there and keep the momentum up. It's easy for that guy on the outside to kind of roll around. You see him lead another lap there, so you've got to be careful using your tires up at this point, too. If you're riding that bottom and trying to run hard to try to stay down there and take this lead back, then you using your tires to get them hot a little bit. We'll see how that affects going forward.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And, the good news is later on the race, we can check with these guys. We can have you run down there and see what their tire wear looks like.
I thought the 24 was going to duck 3 wide coming off the corner. He had a little gap there as the 62 kind of drifted up. Thought better of it. I guess on lap 13, it's probably a smart move, but he had a little bit of a gap and was looking there. It looks like he was going to look on the inside. 2 by 2 for the first two rows of positions here.
It's one of the things we really want to give these guys some love towards the mid and rear of the field as well. We always do, but hey, you cannot let these guys go right now. This is a 5-car battle basically for the lead. That anything could happen. Typically, we would expect them to race clean, but one little slip and we could see your top 5 cars essentially out of this race.
Well, the hard thing is, you would want to be able to let them go and everything, but the problem is the farther you get back behind cars, the worse your car is going to handle. The harder it's going to be to get by them later on, so you kind of want to make that charge here early on. So you see the 62 get a little out of shape off corner, up 4 there, and the 19 is going to take a position. 99 gives the 62 a push, as if, hey, either go or get out of the way. Get out of the way. And these guys are racing. This is pretty entertaining here already early on.
That's getting really, really good and entertaining. And while this one, we will jump just a little bit back because we got some little battles going on. And this is for your top 10, 11, 12. You've got the 10 involved as well as the 06. We got that little battle going on. They're still battling for second. And that battle's not over just yet. So we'll jump back over there as the 62 has firmly taken over the lead once again. But this time now it's the 24 of Acosta in second. As, I haven't been behind the wheel a long time at this track. Can you get kind of pushed into a sucker hole here, Brody, like you would at a super speedway and you really get shoved to the back?
Well, I feel like you can kind of race all over this track, especially early on. It's easy to kind of run the bottom, the middle, the top. I mean, we've seen all these guys all over the track, so it makes the track really easy. The problem is, coming off the corners, everybody's fighting for the same position. You cut up to at least 2 grooves. So if you try to do 3, it gets a little narrow. This track is a little narrow for 3 wide. So, but yeah, I think these guys can kind of run all over the track, run wherever they want. The problem is, what does that do to your tires? Running high, running low. What effect does it have on your tires? Unfortunately, tires are such a big part of racing on iRacing these days, and it's become even more important, in a car like this where it's so hard to pass. These guys have to find a new advantage, and some are saving tires. You see the 77 of Nick Moreau starting to move up on the 19 of Coy, but we've got a battle for the lead. The 24 looking under the 62 of Blue. Acosta's going to take the lead here. Is he going to hold it? I don't. They're going to go side by side down the front.
And you know what? Very interesting to point out here, by the way, we're already on lap 18, make it 19. We're on now. We're clicking away very quickly. We're almost halfway to the end of stage 1. So, you know, we've seen it over and over again in these stages. The closer you get to, like, say, lap 45 or so, we may see some guys really start to push and try to get to the front. Right now, like you said, everyone's taking it very easy. I would say some of your best battles are, you know, 10th, 11th, as we had one car go off track, and that was the 12. Joseph Grahava. He went off a little bit, but he came back on just below the apron as it's starting to get a little racy towards about 20th place. And also at the front for the lead.
It's so racy. So this track is one of the most fun tracks to drive in pretty much any car. I had a lot of fun in trucks and the Victory Fuel Cup Series as well. And these guys are like they're having a blast out here as well. As long as you get room and there's respect and give and take, and it looks like these guys are doing a great job of that right now. It's just a lot of fun to race, but it can also be frustrating because so many different lines work here, and you think, okay, I got to run, I'm going to go here, and then they hold you off on the other side, on the other lane, and so you're like, well dang, and now I got to try something again. It can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of frustration as well, and again, these guys are showing why they're some of the best here up front, able to hold their line, hold them off, and again, you're talking about lap 22 of, we're racing to lap 50 for the first stage, so we're not even halfway yet.
So what you're saying, Brody, if I'm picking up what you're putting down, is this track's kind of like Forrest Gump's box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. You think you're good on the high, and the bottom can hold you off. You think you're good on the bottom, and the high side can hold you off. So.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what you're going to... Well, I do know. You know you're going to get a challenge from these guys behind you if you run the wrong line, that's for sure. So it's like I said, a lot of mind games, a lot of people trying to find their way around and the fastest way around the track. And I know, talking to some of the guys from my team, that they've actually set up for the longer run. So you could see some comers and goers as well when some of these guys fall off and some of the guys, their car comes in like they expect it to.
Yeah, and that's what I'm waiting for, is to see who's going to be the comers and goers. We want to keep an eye on these little battles back here. We also have the battle for second going on, but we got to show some love to these guys a little further back because, like you said, it's so racy that there's just battles going on everywhere. We look a little bit further back to some of the new guys. Matthew in the 26 machine. Couldn't read it on my own handwriting. He's back here. Sherwood Williford back here. So these guys, they're still putting on a show back here for you as well. Side by side, you got the two in the mix. Man, again, it's racy everywhere.
It is, and this is what I call back here being in the scrum. So basically, everybody back here is trying to fight for position, and they know they probably don't have a chance for stage points unless they get the thing done quickly. And so I think some of these guys run out of patience back here trying to make a move because they know they've got to go to try to get stage points because they're so far back. And then there's other guys who are just riding back here, and I put probably Tony Solari in this position. He's just riding, waiting on the stage break. He's thinking, okay, what is my car doing? What adjustments can I make? What do I need the car to do? How can I make my car better going forward? And so you've got several different strategies going on back here, and sometimes they collide, and that's kind of what causes some of the issues.
Yeah, it definitely is. And issues, hopefully if you have any, they're small. You really don't want too many. As we go back to the front, and we look, the 62, he finally has he's checked out from this hotel and said see you later. But the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, they're not done by any means. They're still trying to duke it out as they keep trading spots back. I just saw Choo-Choo. I just saw Choo-Choo go down the front stretch by the 35. Oh, you see the 77 kind of push up into the 35, wiggle there, and they held on to it. Yeah, you see, you got had a freight train with the 19, the 24, and the 77 trying to get by the 35. I don't know if he had an issue the last lap off of 4, but it looks like he was a little off pace. And now the 77 completes the pass, and the 48 is going to line up behind him and try to do the same here. But that is his teammates with the 35 and the 48. Yeah, and that's the thing. I got to look up to see what all the teammates are, but the do you race your teammates as hard as you would anybody else, Brody? I know you got teammates out here on the trucks. Are you going to race them as hard, or are you going to give them a little more slack, or is it free-for-all? Your friends, your teammates, but you're also competitors.
I think you would rather race teammates because you think you get a little more slack from them, and you do. And you kind of know their racing style a little bit better. You've run practice laps with them. There's a good chance you have similar to the same setup with them, so you kind of understand what they're going to be dealing with. To see the 15, contact, now the 20 into them, and this is going to be your first track down the front stretch. The 10 involved, and the caution's out with the 15 going around, and people still piling in.
They may not got the memo of that yellow light because they came piling in way late, but sometimes you don't see it in time. Your spotter doesn't tell you quite time enough.
42.
We'll take a look here, and hopefully our replay works. No, it does not.
The 42 involved, but man, I don't know what started that off the corner. It's like the 15 got a little high into the 70s, or I don't even know what car that was.
It's where's the 15 and the 20, I believe it is.
And the 10 had nowhere to go.
And the 10's like, hey, I'm safe. No, I'm not.
And then these guys just pile in. That's unfortunate, man. That's what they call in baseball an unforced error when you pile into a wreck like that. The caution's out, slow way down. There's never, you're not going to gain any positions, and these guys just pile in and ruin their night already.
And that's the thing, like you mentioned, it just ruins your night because you're on a level playing field. Nobody has a fast repair. And honestly, if you're the 15 back there that got hit in the door, you may have taken less damage than somebody that hit him and got square on the engine of the nose. So he may fare a little bit better here. Obviously, he's got significant nose damage as well, but
yeah.
Nobody coming down pit road except for so far Blackner's coming down. And I'm sure we'll have some that were involved in that wreck coming down as well.
No, I wondered about that with the leaders if somebody would pit, because we only have 4 sets of tires sitting in the pits for this race. It is a very limited amount of tires for the length of race we have for 200 laps. So if you really break it down, you can only take tires every 40 laps. We're not even quite there yet. So these guys would take a risk to kind of take tires early. And I thought somebody might take that risk, take some laps and try to burn up through the field and get a stage win here. But these guys up front decided to stay out, which is probably the smart call for the long term of this race.
I definitely think it is. With only 4 sets of tires, you do not want to be out there. Honestly, if it was me personally, I would try my best to save those tires till the very end, because if you have a late race caution with 20 to go and you can put some fresh rubber on that machine, it can really help you when nobody else has tires left. So you mentioned it early in the race: strategy, fuel, tires. With 200 laps, you're going to be using a lot of strategy.
You are, and like I said, it was something to think about, but I think these guys are all thinking long term here. And, the stage is one thing, and honestly, the thing too is you don't want to come down pit road if there's not many people pitting behind you. If you don't get many people to come down with you, you start way in the back. We talked about the number of cars that are here. There's a lot of cars you have to pass if you start back there. So a lot of these guys are probably thinking, there's no way I'm going to start back there and make my way through the field and make this pay off.
I'm just looking forward to seeing who's in the victory lane, to be honest with you, because, you see somebody like Richie Coy up there, you used to seeing Costa, and then you've got Moreau up there, Nicholas Moreau, Baloo. You got new names up there. Could we see for the remainder of this, the rookies versus the veterans, and who's going to come out on top? I think we're going to hype that up this year. We got these rookies and the veterans. Well, I want to see who comes out on top.
And I'm not even sure I would categorize it like that. And honestly, I would break it down into league drivers and people that run official more often, because you got to think about this being a 200 lap race. There are not many races that are that long in official. And so the guys that run official are used to sprint races, racing hard, And that's why you see someone be a little more aggressive, because they're used to shorter races. I believe this longer race is going to play into the hands of a league driver. Let's see a mainstay league driver take this win.
Yeah, you gotta maintain your talent for 200 laps. You can't use it all up at the beginning. And you're right. You know, the officials nowhere near the length of this particular race here, so you definitely have to make your tires last. You know, make your talent last. Whatever you got to make it last.
Green flag's out, and a great jump there on the inside. And honestly, the 24 of Acosta looks like he's going to clear for second. He does. So move Acosta into second place at the 24. 19 of Coy is going to slide in fourth. Moreau's worked his way up here. He's currently in fifth, and Jamie Knopf is lurking back there.
Yeah, those guys, we're getting a little more bunched up than I think we were on the original start. Those first 5 or 6 kind of took off. Not the case right now. We got some really good battles going on, and the 42 is off the pace. Not sure what the deal is there. Oh, he's missing the whole front. He was involved in that one, so he's just coming out of the pit. So my apologies. I thought he was involved in something else, but no, he's just making his way back as we go to about 15th, 16th, 17th, and we're seeing some good 2 wide battles. You said a little skinny for 3 wide, but you think these guys might try to risk it for the biscuit later on and go 3 wide?
There's no doubt. Somebody's going to try it. Now, whether it works out, well, we saw in the last track, that's what happened. They were 3 wide. So, it don't quite work out a lot of the time, but ain't no doubt somebody will try it, and we'll see how it works. So we got a battle for the lead now. Acosta on the inside of the 62, and he's going to make it work. He's going to take over the lead. So Acosta to the point for the first time tonight.
And see, this is what I'm wondering about. Is we're on lap 37 now. The Acosta in that 24 kind of set sail on the 62 like he was sitting still. I honestly wonder, does he have a faster car? We talked about how good the 62 was, but the 24 was also caught up in not lap traffic, but with traffic, like Richie Coy, the 11. He was all mired back in that group, so now that he's kind of got fresh air, he may be a little faster.
Yeah, you might see some of these guys, again, the comers and goers. We did not make a pit stop there, so even the tire cycle, the cycle on the tires, cooling them off and getting them back up to temperature could play a factor here as well with these guys. You see some of the guys being able to make that work for them. Some of the other guys kind of struggling to find speed and get back into rhythm here, because it does. That's another thing we don't think about, is it kind of breaks your rhythm when you have a caution like that.
It can definitely break your rhythm. And we'll speak of that rhythm for a minute to kind of ask you from this side, when you have the stage caution, is it something that breaks your rhythm, or is it more of a reset and actually helps you? Or if you're leading this race, do you just want to see, just go green? You don't want to see that stage caution.
Well, you'd rather go green if you're running well. You'd rather go green, especially if you're not going to pit, because it breaks your focus, breaks your rhythm. You're kind of running. So you see the 24 and the 62 have kind of broken away from this pack. I wonder if the 19's kind of holding everybody up here, because the 24 and 62 are their own zip code, and they both are running different lanes up front too. That's pretty interesting. But you do want it to go green if you can, if you got a good car, because you want to kind of put some distance like these 2 up front are doing right now.
Yeah, I think you might be right, because remember, we saw the 62 and the 19 side by side, and everybody caught up. Your front 2 now, the 24 and the 62, while they're not single file or the double file now, they were, and nobody was catching up. So I'm with you. We love you, Richie Coy, but maybe you're slowing up this group, and they ain't too happy with you right now. But
that's part of you see the air blocking every week, and you see the 62 go for a pass on the 24 to the inside. So these guys are racing, but you see the air blocking. You run in different lanes, and you try to. You're not only trying to go where your car works the best, you're going where the car behind you works the worst, and so you want to force them to kind of work to get around you. And I think that's what's going on right now. But we see who is that moving? Is that Belk in the 20? And the 33 right there on the bottom.
Yep, Randy Belk.
That's a new name too. Yeah, that's a new name too. So, we got a car in the wall back here.
It looks like a few involved in this one. You got Dave Nestor and Alan Duranko involved. Let's take a look at the replay and see exactly what happened.
Looks like this 22's going to the corner. Everything's okay. So we're back. All right, we're going into turn 1 here. It happened in 1 and 2, so we'll see in 1 and 2.
Curious. Looks like it may have originated with Nestor. Oh no, it originated.
Oh
with
no,
12.
12 in the middle of the track. Oh my goodness.
That was Grajava's.
He was just stopped.
Look at that one. Yeah, he was just stopped. So obviously he was up here with the 15 and the 7 of Grassi. And 15, I believe, is on the mule. So try to remember.
He looks
his
loose
name.
already. Looked a little loose right there. We'll see if he goes into turn 1, see what happens.
I'm digging that candy red paint job though.
I know, I like that too. It looks really nice, or it did anyway.
It did look a lot nicer than it does now. And yeah, he just never turned.
You know what that is? You know, I've seen that before. That wheel issue. Something happened to his wheel, or if he runs VR or something locked up, because you can see his wheels locked to the left, brakes slam on the brakes, and it just goes straight. That's clearly some sort of a hardware issue. I've seen that all before.
And we'll go on board with him just because to get a different view of this one. See exactly what happened. And yeah, you're right. He's turned in here, so obviously his wheel or VR headset's working properly.
Everything's good. Everything's good here. Goes in the corner. And right there.
And bam, right into the wall, and then you look at his rearview mirror and bam.
And he probably doesn't have a clue where he is on the track, and those guys behind him have to go. He's right in the smack dab in the middle of the track, and that's unfortunate for him, unfortunate for them as well. It's just, man, geez. What a surprise I had to be to the 36, though.
And, you know, we talk about this, obviously, you know, I've got the real side of racing, and you hear in racing, real racing, you know, they have pedal malfunction, they have wheel malfunction. Just because it's sim racing does not mean you don't have the same problems. It's clearly, like you said, wheel problem probably, and it just, you know, locked up, came unplugged, something happened, and that sucker just locked right to the right, into the wall he went, and like you said, he had no control over that car.
If you think about it, we've got as much stuff to go wrong as they do, if not more. I mean, you've got the wheel issues, you got pedal issues, you could have computer issues, you could have screen issues, you could have VR issues. I could go on and on. There's a lot of things that could go wrong on the track that we deal with from a hardware standpoint that they deal with as a mechanical issue standpoint. It's the same things. I mean, things like that happen, and unfortunately, it's just part of racing. That's part of racing. This is part of sim racing. It kind of is what it is. It's unfortunate. I mean, you know, we even see people with issues with their internet connection. You know, we see people flashing, or you see people, you know, lose connection and not be there when they're actually there, and all kind of issues like that. So it's part of sim racing. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that took some people out, though. I'm sure he's apologizing to those guys and kind of beating himself up over that issue as well. But, you know, it kind of is what it is. And you know what, Charles? We're going to end up here for a short sprint shootout. All that big gap that the 62 and the 24 had is gone. So now they're going to have to race hard for it. And we'll see what ends up happening here as we approach lap 50 for the stage break.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. You know, we're not really going to call them the rookies and the veterans, but you got the new league member versus the veteran league member here, first and second. So this is going to be real interesting. You know, we never pick favorites here in the booth, but you know, I would love to see any. We don't, but I want to see the 19 get the win here, just because he's got that special paint job here tonight.
I don't know. I mean, I want to see a good race. Anytime I watch these races, I just want to have a good race, and I would prefer everybody leave having a good time here from a league standpoint. That is, I don't think it's ever happened in the history of league racing. But it would be nice if everybody would just leave and say, "Oh, that was fun. I had a good time." Usually, the winner leaves feeling that way, and everybody else is a little bit has a little bit of a bad taste in their mouth. But anyway, you know, we do it for fun. We have some fun with it. Everybody wants to win, but there's one winner, and these guys kind of accept that, 1 out of 32, it's not great odds. So just have a good night and have some fun. That's what it's all about, especially on Memorial Day. Remember, there's things a lot more important than sim racing. We got to think about how we got here and the people that allow us to do this kind of stuff on Memorial Day too. So, kind of a somber day as well. So, a lot to think about. Yeah, you want to have fun. Yeah, you want to win, but there's things out there that are more important.
And, we'll throw this out there, and we'll throw it out a few more times as well. Not everyone can win this. Not everyone can win this race. However, technically, as we take the green flag, everyone can be a winner and drink like a winner, because you've got a new code, FTSR, on drinkvictory.com, where they can save 10% on some victory fuel.
Absolutely. See that great restart with 62 on the outside, 24 on the inside. We'll see how this works out here, but we do have a new code for everybody wanting to try the victory fuel or want to get a pack of their own. Code FTSR. When you shop on drinkvictory.com. This race has got me distracted, man. This is a pretty good. I had 24 low and the 62 way high. The 19 is going to get under him here. We're going to come to 3 laps to go here in the stage.
Yeah, the 62 did not. He had a good restart, but then kind of faded there. Not sure what happened. He did go real high, maybe getting out of that groove he wanted or where his car was good, and now he is at the mercy of the 19. And, wow,
am I seeing 3 wide? No. He backed out of it. 9 backed out of it, which I think is actually the 33. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, but that's going to allow the 62 to regain second place. Acosta's set sail. 2 laps to go here to the stage, and he's kind of put a pretty good gap between him and the 62. The 19 and the 30, the 9 right there on his back bumper.
And you got to keep in mind, this is only to get to the stage. We still got 75 laps, or sorry, 150. Wow, I can't do math, Brody. 150 laps after this stage is over, as they're going to take the white flag on stage number 1. They're starting
1 lap to go, and I think the 19 may have just clipped the wall there off turn 4, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of checked everybody up. It's the 24, then the 62, then this gaggle of cars from third on back, and there are 3 wide going down the backstretch now.
They thought about it earlier and they thought better of it. Now they said, no, there's 1 to go. We got to go. And they're beating and banging.
Yeah, the 77's on the side of the. And but the 24, the stage win. Jose Acosta comes across the line. Baloo's going to finish second to 62. You got a quote off and somebody else in 5th.
Oop, there we go. Sorry, I had to mute my mic for a minute. You're the one that got a sore throat, and I'm the one over here hacking up a lung. So go figure.
Making me sound good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I make any announcer sound good because I'm awful. But there's a reason I stay behind the mic and just yell in people's ear to do stuff usually. But either way, stage 1 is up.
While we're still at speed, they go there slowing down now. Oh, it's completion to lap 50. I don't really know what happened there. Huh.
Well, they got a bonus lap.
I don't really know. Interesting, but
anyway, if you're going off our overlays, if it says 51, that's currently working, so that would have been the completion.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's completion of 50 is when the stage comes. Anyway, either way, caution's out. 24 won the stage. I'm sure I'll be happy with that. Now these guys are going to come get some bits and put some tires on and try to get their car handling better. We'll see if anybody can make up some time here.
And this will be interesting, and we'll let them make their pit stops, and then we'll do a very, very short, quick, maybe minute commercial break while they get back in formation. I don't think anybody's going to take 2 tires. I don't know. I don't race this track very often. I don't have time because I'm always in the booth doing things. 4 tires and fuel. Would I be what I would expect to be the thing? And it looks like that is the case.
Oh, absolutely. These guys are going to take 4 tires and fuel here and see if they can get their car working a little bit better. Close battle off pit road. Looks like the 24 was in stalls. We'll have to look at that after the race. But yeah, close battle going out pit road. Do we have some people stay out?
We did not. Everybody did come in, I do believe. No, we had 2. Bill Hull and Jake Euler stayed out because they have 9 laps on their stint, so that could get interesting.
Looks like the 8 of Allen also is still out there according to the timing and scoring. So it looks like there's 3 of them that stayed out, and we'll see if they actually stay out or if they just stayed out to lead a lap here. I'm not really sure. We'll see when they come across pit entry here. If they do stay out, man, that throws a whole nother wrinkle into things. You know, I don't know. Some of these guys may have came in and took tires in that on that caution.
Thinking they might have, and we got one going in, so we'll check in on him as we got to pay the bills, unfortunately. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be back here momentarily to see who pitted, who didn't, and well, see what all happens. We'll be right back.
Drag race to the line.
Welcome back, and well, the lights are officially off on the pace car, which means only one thing. We're going racing again. To start stage number 2 here, we'll be on about lap 56 is what we're starting. And, well, normally we would say we got another stage and then they're going to ramp it up a little bit. That's not the case. So, Brody, with only one more stage remaining, we have currently... let's see, 145 laps to go and we take the green. When are you going to say, enough is enough, I'm going to the front, you're going to put it in the new gear?
Well, that's good math, Charles. Bravo. 145 laps. That was really good to do, really, on the spot. I'm just kidding. I give you a hard time.
I cheat. I have a thing in the back.
Yeah. Well, I think we've got a long ways to go here. We got a long way to go to lap 200, so you got a few pit stops in you in the end of this race too. So at this point, now you kind of settle in, see what your car's got, and it just depends on how the cautions fall. And we've got a few guys that stay out here on old tires too. It's going to mix things up. The 15, the 51, and the 8 out here on older tires in front of these guys. We'll see how this works out.
It's going to get real interesting. 3 cars with 11 laps on their tires versus the rest of the field with 2. And, of course, those were under caution. So, yeah, I'm with you. It's going to get real interesting really quick. And, you know, if you're the first car, you know, of Jake Euler, I think he has the best shot because he's got a pad of 2 behind him. And never mind, I stand corrected.
Yeah, here comes the 19 around the 51. The 62 got a good start there and was pushing the 15 by, the 51 on the start. And here comes the 19 looking under the 51. Not going to quite get there yet. And But yeah, I mean, even with 11 laps on your tires, it's going to be a difference for these guys. So everybody's going to have to take their time and kind of pick through here and not wreck their car doing so, because we, like I said, it's got a long way to go. Getting to the front is really the most important thing right now.
Yeah, and and I'm wondering if you look at drivers like Jake Euler and these guys that did not come down in pit. They came down,
51.
Yeah, they got beat.
51 just hit the wall off the corner. Now he's 3 wide. Now he's got guys on the inside. Now it's not just a bad spot. He does kind of slot in there, but man, that was dangerous coming off 4. He did get the wall a little bit.
You got to be real careful. I'm saying these guys that didn't come down, one, they're making it real treacherous for everyone else. You don't want to say that was dumb. Why would you know? I think it's strategy. I think these guys want to see, hey, later on this race, if I've got 9 laps on my tires and I don't come down, what is it going to do for me? I think the answer was it's going to put you about 5-6 spots back. I don't think it's going to be a viable strategy later on, but it's good to get that test out of the way now.
Well, listen, if you took tires on that caution, you really have no choice but to stay out at this point. And I've always said it's kind of up to the guys on fresh tires to work their way around the guys that are on slower tires. Because like I said, in this situation, you see I think the 8 just pounded the wall off the corner too. For these guys are starting to use their cars up. But if you are, I'm sorry, the 9, which is the 33, I think just hit the wall. That's the one I was talking about. But anyway, so these guys run different tire strategy, just trying to get traction and stuff like that. And so sometimes you don't have a choice to stay out and hope it works out. Everybody's running their own strategy and trying to make it work. And you just have to kind of race around what you got.
Yeah, I mean, it's that age-old saying, you make your bed, now you got to lie in it. And, that's exactly how it is. They may have wanted to come down so bad for tires, but they had already used a pair. And like you said, we'll throw it on the screen for anyone that wasn't here early on. We'll get rid of that. Your race on race information, 4 sets of tires, no faster pair. That really, really makes it difficult. You've got to figure out when I want to take these tires. They took them a little earlier than maybe they wanted to, and now they just have to kind of work it in and just hope that everything kind of works itself out later on in the race.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with the tires, if you're around the back of the pack and you need to try something different because it's hard to pass and it's not working back there for you, and you try different pit strategy and all that. You kind of take what it'll give you. And right now, you just kind of try to hang on and kind of hope that the cautions fall your way and that you don't have to burn an extra set of tires, because if you do, you could be in real trouble here towards the end of the race. And that's why you saw some of the leaders not even pitting on the caution.
Yes, and it's the word you said. Strategy is what it is. As we go to about to 9th place, that's where the current battle is going on. And I say that as we got a nice little battle for the lead. We are starting to see a trend, I think, when it comes to being up front. You do have some more up there. You got Knopf up there now, but you're seeing the 62 and the 24. Those have been, consistent front runners. The 19 of Richie Coy a little further back, but the 62 and the 24, I think they may be your go-to guys here tonight so far. As I said, they've been consistently up front.
I don't know. I mean, you got the 48 that's worked its way to the front. 48 is up 9 positions to get to the lead here. Not far back, we haven't really mentioned much all night. It's the 01 of Nathan Biggert. He started working his way towards the front, defending champion of the series, trying to go back to back, but he's had to work his way from about 19th spot. So he's made his way towards the front. We're some new players kind of creep towards the front here as well. We'll see who's actually got a better car now, a little bit better track.
We definitely will. I'm going to dip us a little further back in this field, all the way to 10th place. You got a bit of a little hornet's nest going on back here. You got Jake Euler. You got James Wallace. Daniel Simmons back here as well. So these guys putting on it. The 06 is back in there. Sorry, that is Simmons. You got John Ross lurking just behind them. So you got about a 5-car battle for 10th place. So, we mentioned it earlier and we'll continue to mention it. It doesn't matter where you're at, if it's 1st, 10th, 15th, even back in 30th. It's so racy. These guys are putting on battles everywhere you go. It's just a product of, a little give and take, and these guys doing a fantastic job here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, they know that, we've got a long way to go, and, lap 67 of 200, we still got a long way to go and a lot of pit stops to make. And so I'm sure these guys are thinking, okay, how can I play pit strategy? Maybe get some better tires. We see the battle for the lead and still heating up side by side with the 48 of Knopf and the 62 of Ballou. And I'll be honest, in this position, I think Knopf has got the preferred lane on the high side. Again, Ballou on the bottom. I feel like you bring your tires up a good bit if you try to run that bottom too much, especially with somebody trying to pit you down. But we've seen him have speed all night. The 24, I think, is just riding back there, honestly looking at these guys and thinking, okay, you guys go ahead and use your stuff up, ride back here and try to take care of it.
Yeah, I would definitely just kind of ride back, let somebody, use their equipment up. Let them do what they think they need to do. Yes, you're racing, 33 of the cars on the track, but you're also racing the track and you're racing yourself. And I think you can attest to this, just like anybody else could. When you're out there on the track, while you are racing the competition, you're also racing yourself. You've got to mentally make sure you don't make mistakes, like getting into the outside wall. We've seen a couple of them do that already. And that'll give you a little bit of damage. You do it too hard, it's going to give you a lot of bit of damage. So you've got to, do what Doyle says in chat, Doyle Lloyd's, and you've got to limit your mistakes. So, as much as it is racing the competitors, you got to race your own mindset as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to think. We've talked about mind games, and also we'll see in the last 33 laps tonight. We talked about this being a marathon of sorts. The last 33 laps are going to be important because it's 33 laps longer than what we usually run here in the Cup Series. So some of the guys that run with us are not maybe accustomed to that little bit of an extra race they have to do at the end. So we'll see if that plays a factor. We'll see if these guys can kind of put themselves in position and have enough fuel to go to the end of the run, per se. That's a personal fuel, if they've got enough energy and focus and stamina here to finish the job at the front of the field.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, 200 laps. My back end is a little off. I think it's supposed to be a 1.5 mile track. It says 1.45, 291 miles. We know it's actually a 1.5. So this is 300 miles. That is a lot of miles. And, we mentioned it. We'll talk about it a little bit more in depth. When you have somebody that only or primarily does, the official racing, you're talking way shorter amount of laps. Maybe, what is it, like 80 something laps, if that? It's not near 200 laps, 300 miles of racing. So, it'd be interesting to see how they're conditioned. Maybe they race in some other leagues, but 300 miles is a lot of racing. And it's really going to be, a lot of stamina to sit there and drive that long.
Well, listen, we went 160 on Thursday. We ran the Victory Fuel Cup Series, and we went 167 laps. Gensar. We went 167 laps caution free, no stage, no nothing. We went 67 laps straight. I can tell you, all of us, we were talking about how long that race felt, just because there was no brakes, there was no caution, and nothing to reset. And you see the 24 get around the 48 of Knopf for second place. But I can tell you from experience that you get hot, you start cramping up, all that stuff, especially if you're older. There's a lot of things you got to take care of to be able to go that long of a race. And these guys had the stage caution at lap 50. You probably get another caution at some point, but if you don't, man, that's still 145 laps run to the end. It can take you. I know it sounds funny, but it definitely does, mentally and physically both.
Yeah, it definitely can. I'm not going to lie. I am glad that I am on this side and not on that side. And, I don't know if I can speak for you, but you might be as glad as well that you are in the booth here tonight instead of having to run this 200 lapper.
I am, but for other reasons. I've mentioned in previous situations, I'm not really that big of a fan of this car. Oh, we see him. Is that the 48 off pace?
Yeah, the 48
It
is
is
not a
40
little
pace.
off pace, and he's dropped back two
He
more
is.
spots.
So I wonder if he's saving something or if he got in a wall. I'm not really sure, but he is really slow there. He's dropped behind the 77. That'll put him back. Maybe he was just letting those guys go. I don't know, but he still looks a little off pace.
Yeah.
Did he get the wall?
Yeah, if he got that wall, we'll see if we can't take a closer look. And I'm not seeing any maybe a little bit, maybe a scuff, but not horribly damaged there. So we'll keep an eye and see if he continues to fall back later on in this race. But
Charles, you're saying he didn't knock the wall down?
yeah, I don't think he could knock the wall down, but he may have given it a little love, but I don't know if he knocked it down.
Yeah, I don't think he touched the wall. I think he was just maybe playing a little smart here. We've seen before. I've talked to him before. Remember him at Dover. He finally got tired of riding around and went up and run up front and started challenging the leader just because he got tired of riding around. And so maybe that was the case here. He does seem to be a little off the pace, though. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, and I will say, he's got as fresh of tires as anybody. I will say this: you go back a few spots to that is Lane Allen. He's the first one with 36 laps on his tires. He's holding his own in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, well, that's what you want to do. If you stand on old tires, you just want to be able to kind of fall in somewhere and ride because you already spent some life of your tires, a set of your tires. So now you want to kind of ride and hope that cautions fall your way. So he's doing a good job for sure for somebody that's standing on tires. And I got to tell you, I'm looking at YouTube chat. We've seen some chat in YouTube. A lot of support for the 15 and for FXBG Racing from a couple guys. So shout out to those guys. Shout out you guys in chat too for showing your support. I know Pet Joe's out there far on. We've got Rolling with Los. A couple guys on chatting with us. Doyle Lawrence, of course, supporting the 31 of Chandler. Unfortunately, Chandler got caught up in that big wreck early on. That's unfortunate. I know he barely made it into the race, but that's sad to see. And anyway, just thank you guys for out there in chat. If you want to throw a shout out, we'll try to get it out here on the broadcast.
Yeah, and especially I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight, having to listen to us. I mean,
yeah,
let's be honest. You're not feeling you're a little under the weather, and I'm not even supposed to be on a mic. I'm surprised that the FCC hasn't banned me yet for just being heard on a mic. So,
they wanted posters out for you. Is that what?
Yeah, they got some wanted. Actually, it's not wanted. It's not wanted on the mic posters.
Oh yeah.
But
we got 15 watching concurrently on YouTube. Shout out to CMR Gaming. The 19 is slow, is what he says. He says, "Gosh, the 19 is slow." I don't know. 48 looked a little slow there early on, but 19 is currently in second spot. So I don't know. If I'd call him slow or not. He's starting to inch in on the 62 of Blue.
If he's slow, I want to be slow.
Yeah, I know.
He's moving on up right now. A few spots. You
It might be strategically slow.
Yeah,
if
he very well could be.
It might be strategic.
Strategy is key. And speaking of someone who's not slow and moving forward, back at the 01 of Nathan. You talked about a little bit. He looks like, yes, he is our biggest mover. No, he's not actually. He's close to it. He is 12 spots to the good to have a top 5 right now. The only other driver is Joshua Johnson plus 13 and 12. But 12 spots up, and he's in 5th. He's on the move right now.
Yeah, he's had a quiet night so far. The Owen and Biggert for sure. I expected him to be farther towards the front, just based on his previous performances. But he's getting there. He's working his way towards the front. 12 spots up, and right in front of him is the 77 of. Do what?
Caution is out for the 54.
Oh, the 54.
Alan Cowell, we'll see what happens to him. So we'll take a look at the supposed to be the LSRTV replay, but doesn't want to seem to work still, even with the new overlays. But
it works. It's just a lap later, it looks like. So
yeah.
we'll wait here. Coming off turn 4 is, I think, where it happens. We'll see what happens here. Through 3 and 4. It happened in front of him. And somebody in front of him. Whoever he nosed into in front of the 42.
Wondering who that was. I believe it was Chandler.
Oh.
So we'll take another look. We'll set the little wind back machine just a little bit so it doesn't go quite as far back, and we'll see what happens between the 31 and the 42.
The 42's off pace. 31 catches him. Oh, clips him. And then spins right in front of him and finishes him off. And yeah, the 54 is just an innocent bystander again with a wreck that happens in front of him. 31 of Chandler just caught 42 in a bad spot. 42 was way off the pace, and there you go.
It's unfortunate, especially for the 31. While Nerditudes is technically the enemy. No, I'm just kidding. They're not the enemy. We like those guys. We like Jason and Jeremy, but seriously, that is unfortunate. That was a nice looking ride before it had the nose ripped off, but Doyle did a good job. That's a really nice looking American paint job.
Nice. Yeah, at least it was.
Yeah,
I keep saying that, unfortunately. These cars look good, or at least they do. But yeah, man, it's a good looking paint job. And to update that, Doyle let us know that is Chief Petty Officer Doyle Lawrence riding on Jeff's car. That's Doyle's paint job, and Chandler's honoring him. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it looks a little rough right now, but man, that is a good looking paint job.
It is indeed. And I just want to point out, I like this, John Ballou, number 62, but that is the blackest, most blacked out Napa Auto Parts car I've ever seen. There ain't a drop of yellow on that car.
It's
blue.
Yeah, it's pretty dark, and then behind him, it's kind of you got the Army colors going on, because right behind him is the Army color number 19. You got the black and then the Army green. Cars look pretty good out there, man. It's hard to kind of pick them out, though. If you're looking from far away, it's kind of hard to pick out the usual paint schemes we see here. You got the 24 is in the usual paint scheme, the 19 in a new paint scheme. 62 is new to the league, so he's getting used to them as well. So, yeah. So, did these guys take any pit stops? I don't think they pitted there, did they?
They did, actually. We got one stint on their tires. They've made 2 pit stops.
Well, there you go.
So while we were watching the replay, as some cars got destroyed, one thing I want to look at here is see if we can get a good view. We may have to go on board with somebody and see. You're right. It is the sun has set, the lights have come on, and I'll be golly, you're right.
The fog has dissipated.
Fog is gone.
Yeah, I figured the fog would dissipate at night. Thank goodness. Things have kind of cleared up here, and I'm sure the drivers are happy to see it. We're happy to see it, and now we see the darkest sky we've ever seen with no stars and no moon, unfortunately, iRacing.
Yeah, we need some moonlight so we can see where we're going. But thankfully, this track is well lit by all of the lights, and you can see we're coming across the stands. And I don't see an empty seat in the house. Everybody's standing up and cheering and having a good time. As we
no, wait a minute. If they're standing up and their seat empty.
All right, so we don't. Right? You got a point there. I guess not one person in the seats.
Nobody in the seats. That's you see the 24 disappear. That's what I was talking about, the internet connection issues. Where did he go? Where's he at?
Well, he's back here somewhere. Oh,
Oh,
there we go. We're on
he's
board with
behind.
him.
Okay, yeah. Okay, all right, weird. All right, so they're lined up 2 by 2, and the lights are still on for some reason.
I'm trying to read that Napa. It says Napa, get up and go. I could have. That must be their new slogan, as it shows how long I haven't paid attention.
Yeah, it's one of their slogans for sure.
Back in the day, I was the Michael Waltrip. I liked him a little bit. He's wasn't my favorite, but back then it was Napa Know-How.
Yeah, I miss those commercials. There's some pretty good commercials.
They were, you always. I was showing my age back here, but that was from my commercial. I like those, and also the ones with Daryl Waltrip always trying to drive the car. So
It's like DJ trying to drive the truck for UPS. A lot of good commercials back then. Unfortunately, we don't have many commercials anymore featuring NASCAR drivers or anything NASCAR related. As a matter of fact, I saw an F1 commercial during the NASCAR race the other night. I don't know what we're doing, but it is what it is. As we get to, I think we should get the one to go this time. But not really sure what happened there. I thought that would be one to go last time, but this will be one to go this time.
yeah, I did too. Everyone doubled up, and you would have thought it'd been one to go that time, but yeah, or the last time. So interesting enough there. I mean, we've seen stranger things on iRacing. We love you, iRacing, but we see some strange things sometimes.
We are this time, so we're going to go back racing. 62 is in the lead. On the outside, it's going to be the 19 of Coy. It's going to be the 24 Jose Acosta. To the outside of him is going to be the 01 of Biggert, who is his way up into the top 5. Behind them in 5th is going to be the 48, the curious case of Jamie Knopf, because he was a little off pace there towards the end of that last run. But I'd be interested to see if that was an issue with the car, if that was him taking care of tires, what that was all about. See if he's got speed, if he's picked it back up here.
Yeah, very well. We're reading some of the chat, and you got CMR Gaming 28 said, maybe you should tell Richie that Jersey Mike sucks. Normally that makes him push the nod button.
Yeah. He's been a while around Jersey Mike's car, I think, but yeah, it's still supporting Jersey Mike's. Hey, I like some Jersey Mike's. Hey, no lie there. It's really good. But as we get ready for the restart here, coming down, waiting for the green flag to come out. And green is out. We're back underway here at Charlotte. Lap 92 of 200. And the 62 again gets a great restart. It's going to take command of the race going into turn 1.
And as we watch the battles ensuing once again under green, I'll admit I've never had Jersey Mike subs.
Really?
I don't even know if we have one in this town.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Well, I will,
but anyway, yeah, a little pricey, but what's not nowadays? But,
well, that's the truth.
Yeah, some good stuff. And speaking of trying some things, you guys need to try some Victory Fuel. DrinkVictory.com. We've got a new code FTSR. You can get 10% off your order at DrinkVictory.com at Victory Fuel. They've got two flavors, and they got a new flavor coming out too. It's going to be grape. We don't know what it's going to be named yet, but looking forward to trying out the grape too. It sounds like it'll be really tasty. But they got the fruit punch, which is throttle punch, and they got the lemon flavored Lucky Lemon. So you guys got to try that out for sure. A lot of good stuff, good people too. So if you want to support a good company, Victory Fuel's the way to go. So code FTSR for 10% off at drinkvictory.com.
And I'm just getting word in, is my producer telling me that it goes good with Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, well, I don't think I've ever had them at the same time, but I couldn't see why not. I think it goes good with anything.
I mean, especially, I really prefer the Lucky Lemon, and it's like lemonade kind of. So, lemonade goes good with anything. So, especially if you're in the hot weather these summer days.
Yeah, absolutely. They just had a promo for I think 12 cans for like $25, which is pretty good. I don't know that that's still the case. I think it expired today, honestly. So, but if you missed out on that, you still get your 10% off with FTSR. But anyway, just check them out for sure. Again, great people. I wouldn't. I'm really careful about promoting things because I don't want to promote stuff that I can't get behind. But those guys they're really down to earth. It's the Swindells, if you wondered. They kind of detail how they became the drink and kind of why they did and everything. But Kevin Swindell, who was paralyzed, was looking for a alternative to sugary energy drinks and basically decided to made his own. So it's a really cool story. Good people, good product as well. So definitely check them out. Support a good company for a good cause.
Yeah, and it's even cooler to see not only are they doing that, getting behind all the, these leagues on iRacing and, real racing. They're really, giving it back to any form of racing to help as we're watching a little bit of a battle going on here towards the front. Really, 4th, 5th, 6th is more of a little bit of a battle going on, but you go further back. I'm going to drop to about 9th, 10th, 11th. You got some battles going on there as well. Single file probably for the first 8 or so, and then you go double file about 3 rows deep. Now 2 rows deep. So, like I said, the battle's not always at the front. Right now, it's about midfield, about 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th is where they're at, and they're starting to get single file. Could we be in that stage as we are coming up to the halfway point where they're just kind of ride around? They're not going to press anything.
Well, this is what I like to call the calm before the storm. That's what this is the calm before. You see the 77.
It was the fastest lap just now of the race.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not off the pace, but just riding around back there. This is the calm before the storm, though, Charles. I think this is where everybody realizes, okay, we're just hitting halfway this lap. So we just crossed halfway. We've got half this race to go, and it's already been kind of a long race. So now you kind of settle in. What do I have? What can I do? What's the strategy from here? Do we pit once or twice? Those kind of things you start kind of figuring out. And as you're thinking, you're probably going to slow down a little bit and kind of ride in line and kind of get your head around where you're going here at this point. But some of these guys have already figured that out. Now they're running side by side. In front of this pack is the 8 of Lane Allen beside the 57 of Joshua Johnson, and the 22 of Blackner, who again is running one of those cool patriotic paint schemes with Red Bull on the side of the car. It's a good looking car as well, man. That red, white, and blue, the white back with the blue front, just looks really good.
And Taz is, take a look back here in a minute. We got a change for the lead. Is no surprise, Nathan 16 spots up, and he said, "My time has come, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking the lead."
Yep.
And
it only took him half the race, but he got his lap led. So that's for points. That's a good thing. He got his lap led. Now just kind of settle in. But he's starting to make his presence known here. We're starting to see some guys move the front. In 4th place is James Wallace in the 67, our biggest mover so far in the race. James is up 24 spots. I don't think he took a qualified time, but up 24 spots and up to 4th place, starting to make some noise. So that's cool to see. He's kind of worked his way through the pack. Who says you can't pass? He's showing you can pass.
Yeah, he is definitely showing you can pass. There's 33 cars, so he's passed basically the entire field at this point to get where he's at. And I'm liking the red, white, and blue. Not sure what Glow Life is. May have to look it up.
It's one of his it's one of his usual sponsors. But a little blue streak on the bottom.
We'll check that one out.
Good looking paint scheme. A good paint scheme in front of him, the 01 there. Those guys, Gravala and his team, Joseph Gravala, the team owner for the 01, they always do a great job on their paint schemes. Fugo Motorsports, they always put up some great paint schemes for sure. Showing off another great one there with the red and blue, with the white number. Just looks really good. And again, that the candy apple red. I'm a big fan of that color on a race car. Man, that thing just kind of stands out. Actually, I think it's a little darker than candy apple, but it looks good. Oh, yeah. The 62 into the wall.
Yeah, you saw that right as I did. The 62 just scraped it until you see sparks going, and you can definitely tell there's some damage to the front of that car.
Yeah, he's definitely got some damage to the right side. That's what we talk about, those mental errors, those mistakes. And, you know, if you're not careful, it's really easy to do in this car. And he just had a little bit of a mistake off the corner there. Not sure if he got some help or not, but right into the wall off 4. And that's some pretty good damage.
I don't believe there was any, but it was also some really close racing too. So there could have been a little nudge or a bump or a rub. But hey, you know, those are all part of racing. Unfortunately, sometimes, you know, you rub a little bit and it just rubs you the wrong way. You get into the wall, but it doesn't seem to be hurting him too much. He's still hanging in third. I don't think he lost the spot because he's slower necessarily. Obviously, just because it happened, it did slow him down a second. He's still right on the back bumper of the 01 of Nathan Biggert. So we'll see if he can try to get by.
That black car, you can really see the damage to the side of his car. You see the scrapes and everything really well with that black machine. But yeah, I don't know. You rub me. It definitely going to rub me the wrong way, especially 100 laps into a 200 lap race. I know we want to race hard, but we got to make it to the end too. So we'll see if there's some maybe some frustration here. You see both those cars wiggling off the corner. These cars are not easy to drive, and I hadn't said it much tonight, but these guys are going to kind of be hanging on towards the end of these runs.
And that's the thing too, is these guys, and you know, they have the ability to chime or, you know, chipper up and talk to each other a little bit, and they may have. Obviously we are not listening in on that radio communication because it could get a little to the extreme side. But you know, if they're not talking to each other, you know, as far as the 62 is concerned, the 24 could have put him there. Whether he really did or not, you know, you're a driver. You don't know what's going on at that very moment. So you've got to be careful. And we don't know how the 62 drives, you know, if he feels he's been roughed up on the track a little bit. So that's something to watch for and see, you know, I'm not saying he's a dirty driver. But he could come up there and he won't race him as cleanly, you know. He'll give him
the wall again. He's in the wall again off the corner outside of the 24, and that time there was no contact for sure. I was interested to kind of see when he got back to the 24 if he was upset with him, but you see him loose right there through 1 and 2. Now I think his car's handling may have gone away a little bit, so he's going to have to back off here and regroup.
Yeah, and then this makes you wonder if it was ill handling and that's what caused it, or if it was because of the contact that caused it to be ill handling. As he is fighting it hard right now, and here comes Richie Coy. He ain't giving him any slack. He's trying to get by.
Yeah, don't look like he's his car has definitely not got the speed it had, and looks like he's struggling with the handling of the car a little bit here. I don't know. Well, he needs to regroup and realize that we've got some more pit stops coming up. He needs to, retain kind of what he's got and be around to the end. At the end, if he's wanting to be a part of this battle here at the end.
Yeah, and that's the takeaway right now is, if you can't move to the front, you maintain where you're at. That's what he needs to do. He's obviously not going to be able to move to the front. So he just needs to maintain his position as best he can, We're good.
I'll tell you what, just looking at Wayne Grassi back there in 9th place, he just went by Bill Hull in the 51, or at least battling him back there. Wayne Grassi moved up 14 spots up to the 9th position, so great job by him as well. The 51 of Hull hanging in there, and then who's that? That's Danny LaFleur behind him. All those guys, 9th, 10th, and 11th, they're doing exactly what they need to do, kind of maintain and maybe just pick off spots when they can. But great run by the 7 to pick up those spots, the 51 to hang on. And again, the 51 was one of those guys that stayed on the caution last one. So now he's on equal tires and got a little better track position. We'll see if he can do something with those.
Yeah, and I'm curious. We talked about this, and I want to bring it up. This is what we're talking about, is we got to jump to the lead for a battle for the lead going on, a lead change. We gave these guys front runners some love earlier, so we got to give those guys in the back some, because now that we're getting a little spread out in the longer run, those guys, it's their time. Is these guys in the front saying,
"No, we're get the wall?"
I believe
I think the 48 may have gotten the wall just a little bit there. These guys are starting to race a little bit harder. You know, things are starting to amp up a little bit up front. You see the 01 of Biggert trying to challenge for the lead. And now here comes the 19 of Coy. Looks like CMR Gaming has pushed that button. Told him that Jersey Mike sucks. Here he comes to the front. Now starting to push some heat on the 24. And, you know, I'm not at all surprised to see the 19 start coming to the front. Those guys, him and Jeff Chandler both have worked really hard to try to get a good long run car. And it looks like it's paying off here. He goes to the lead pretty easily there.
He must be listening to the broadcast for sure, because he heard it. Now he's on the move. So, you know, if he wins this race, I'm thinking maybe. I assume he's still doing the 4-pack. I believe that 4-pack needs to go to his fan that's in chat right now, telling him, you know, giving him that momentum.
Definitely, he definitely got some speed for sure. He's just shown up. All of a sudden passed a few cars and went to the front. So we'll see if he can hang on here. Again, lap 119 of 200. We still got a long way to go and a few pit stops to get there. Maybe you put that in a song, Charles.
You do not want me singing.
Long way to go and a long way to go and a few pit stops to get there.
Yeah, I think we can add a remix to it.
Yeah.
You get the banjo and I'll get the guitar.
These guys are doing a great job up here, though, man. 24's hanging on the second right now. We got a battle for third. The 48's trying to come back on the 01 of Biggert. Looks like the 48 of Knopf is going to get that. Maybe Jamie's starting to come to the front. Man, it's just comers and goers, and these guys just trying to do whatever they can with the car they got right now, and honestly planning for a pit stop, man. I'd love to see some green flag pit stops because I think it's going to spread things out. You're going to see some guys be able to hit that pit stop just right. Some of these guys maybe struggle under pit stops. I think it's going to kind of thin the field out, and you might even separate the men from the boys here with a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, I definitely think it will separate them. And, you know, we only have 79 laps to go. I know you think about 79, that's a lot of laps, but that is not really a lot of laps considering you know, it was 200 to begin with. We've already completed 121 laps. You know, in the grand scheme of things, that is quite a bit of time. And I'm hoping, Brody, that my timer is not right. Because my timer shows we have 38 minutes to complete 76 laps, or 78 laps.
Let's just have to get a move on here.
I don't know if you can get much more of a move on.
I could have maybe forgot to set that higher, but well, that's something else. We are racing the rain. It looks like.
Yeah, I mean, you did promise no rain delays. We're getting one anyway. Hey, Mother Nature don't cooperate. What can we say?
Well, listen, it might just make things a little more interesting here because these guys are racing to the end of the race here. So we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, that might be the case. But if we stay green, maybe we get towards the end.
Yeah, because we're looking. Let's see how good our math is. We got 30 seconds a lap, barring no cautions. So that's 2 laps a minute. So that's yep, nope, can't figure that math out. Sorry.
2 laps a minute. We've got how many laps to go? We got 75 laps to go, 2 laps a minute. So you're looking at 75 divided by 2 is 70 divided by 2 is what? 35?
35.
It's 37.
37 minutes left right now. We have 37 on the clock. This is going to get close. We have a caution. Goodness. We're in trouble.
Well, they have a pit stop too. They got a pit stop too, so I'm not sure. We're going to get there. But anyway, it should be interesting for sure because they still have to make that other pit stop if we stay green.
Yeah. And this. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking. You know, I was told that the pit cycle, the length you can go on pit stops is 65 laps. So you're looking at the pit window opening in here in about 10 laps. So you're going to start seeing some pit stops here soon. And
well, my question, and if anyone's watching the broadcast, they inadvertently you're going to have an advantage, and we've already kind of spilled the bad beans here. So I'm very curious if anybody knows about, if that is accurate, if it was, what might have happened. But if they do, that could really change up. That's a whole nother strategy we didn't think about till just now. If these guys are going to come down early and maybe short pit, they could stay out and not pit, knowing that, the timer may run out or rain's going to get here before they would need to actually pit.
Well, I'm gonna go level the playing field. If you'll give me just a second, we're gonna go take care of that right quick. If you'll just give me just a second, make sure all these guys.
Race admin guy go do his job.
Yeah. Let me do that. I'll be right back.
So we'll cover for him, folks, as he's gonna go level the playing field and let these guys know there are 35 minutes left. And the reason behind this, it was just little incidents. Nothing anybody did, on purpose or anything like that. There was a debate. So they thought we were going to be able to have to cut the laps, but we do not have our 10 o'clock race. So those laps went back to 200 to make this a full-on race. And in doing so, just inadvertently forgot to move the time back. So they're still going to get to race, and it's still been a good one as you're watching this battle for the lead right now. Going on, sorry, not the lead. That is the battle for 10th going on. The battle for the lead is heating up. That's what I was trying to get to. There we go. As we're going to get to it. That battle going on. But, just inadvertently, it was just a boo-boo there. Oh, a little contact between the 24 and the 48, as I believe we have our race admin back, who's also the announcer / booth person tonight.
Yeah, I've let Richie know to let everybody know that they're racing the timer, so everybody's aware, so everybody's on the same page. But it's unfortunate. But hey, if we stay green, it could be a non-issue. But we'll see. We'll just kind of watch that. Hopefully they get the 200 laps in. That was the plan. But right now the racing for second is so close.
Yeah, we already talked about it being a strategy race. Now what does this do to your mindset and your strategy? On one hand, you realize, hey, I've got 33 minutes to run 16 laps. I got to get my hindquarters to the front. On the other hand, you don't want to race anybody too aggressively and spin them out, or, cause them to spin out by racing them too hard to where it causes a caution, because then you're pretty much sealing your fate. You're not going to get to that 200 mark. So, that changes everything, changes pit stops. I don't want to say this was a good thing, because obviously we wanted to go to 200, but it's going to make it real interesting.
Well, right now I don't think you can do anything different. There you go. Just watching some of the chat. I don't think right now you can do anything different with strategy wise, because you still have to make that other pit stop, and you're still close to making it to the end of the race anyway. It's if we get a rash of cautions or a caution and things change, that's when it's going to get interesting, because you're going to run shorter than the max amount of laps, which is 200. So right now you just kind of stick to your strategy and pit when you need to pit. Again, we're getting close to that pit window. If they say 65, then this time around they'll be within that window. So then you're going to start seeing some pit stops.
There's looking here. Yeah, this should be there. We got 46 laps on this stint so far. So yeah, you're getting into that window. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this changes. If it, like you said, you really don't want to change anything yet. If we get a caution, and that extends it to quite a bit longer, then I think you really need to change it. If we see that caution come out, do you think we're going to have some takers try to stay out?
I don't know at this point. If you haven't pitted yet, your tires are wore out, and I think everybody would pit at this point if the caution comes out. You see the 24 is running right back up on the 19 of Coy, so the 24 and the 48 both have run right. I thought the 19 was going to kind of check out, but the 24 is right there, the 48's right there, and the 01 of Biggert is right there as well. So So we got just like we saw at Dover, they kind of spread out and then they come back together at the end of the run. This is exactly the same thing we've got here.
I'm looking forward to seeing who wins this one. You got some heavy hitters up at the front. Is like you said, Richie's up there.
Three wide for the lead.
Wow.
48, the 24, and the 19, 3 wide, going through 3 and 4 for the race lead. The 01's looking at this going, oh, guys, figure it out. 48 backs off. The 24 is going to try to take this lead. He's going to lead that lap and probably going to take it into turn 1 there. Man, that's well, I'm glad he didn't come up 3 wide on the lap car there.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier, the skill level of these guys to take it 3 wide and, the smarts of them to know, okay, this isn't going to work and back off so that they don't cause a wreck. They've got the talent, but they've also, got the racer smarts to know when it's not going to work, and they did perfect there. As the battle's still on for second now as Acosta has the lead.
We'll say Biggart's starting to make a move towards the front. It's going to be the outside of Richie Coy here. He's going to take that spot off of turn. The 19 is going to try to shut the door on the 48, and he does. So now Biggart's going to try to chase the 24 down. And again, all these guys are thinking about pitting at this point now. You got to get that pit stop out of you. That was close off turn 4 with the 48 and the 19. But all these guys are now thinking about, okay, pit strategy, pit stop. What you don't want to do, though, is pit and have the caution come out and trap your lap down. That's what you don't want to have happen. And it'll be interesting to see as you see the 11 of Tony Solari on pit road. Some of these earlier pit stops, how much is that going to give them an advantage and kind of working their way towards the front, maybe get some new tires on them early and being able to run towards the front.
Yeah, you definitely just going to have to kind of wait and see who all is going to come down first, too. You talk about it, short pitting. Do you think it's a viable strategy to short pit on these guys, or do you want to stay out and come out with the freshest tires possible? Listen, if you run the track.
It depends on where you're running. I mean, if you're running this top group, you kind of want to do what they're doing. But if you're back behind these guys, you got to try something different. It's like the old saying, if you follow the leader, guess what you're going to do? You're going to follow the leader. As you see the 67 of James Wallace hit pit road, he's going to be one of those guys that take tires early on. He's going to come down and get those. And we'll see where he cycles out because he's one of the guys that was kind of in that top group.
He was. He's going to come down in that Grow Life number 67 and obviously 4 tires and fuel. Again, the first one out of the top 10, you said, I think it's a little bit of monkey see, monkey do. So we'll see probably a few more coming down. And we do. Richie Coy coming down as well.
Richie Coy's going to come get his tires. And now you're starting to see the lead lap guys or the lead guys come down and take their last pit stop. Pit for fuel. This is going to get them to the end if we stay green. And I think may have one more set of tires in there just in case if they plan that just right. But if not, again, it could get more interesting. You see the 51 of Hull also on pit road right there. And let's see if anybody else comes down around this time by. Yes, we do. The 01 of Nathan Biggart is going to come down, find his pit stall and take his stop. Right now we've got the 24 of Acosta leading. You just see the 99 of LaFleur also hit pit road. Second place is the 48 of Knopf. You've got Ballou out there in the 62 nursing the damage he got off the wall there.
And whoa, locker up there, Sonny Boy. He coming in hot into the pits.
Yeah. That's when you make up the time, man, coming into pit road hot like that. As long as you don't speed, because that could be the end of your night if you speed as well. So
yeah, I mean, you got flames him in pit on the road. Car, and them tires are on fire.
Lane Allen on pit road. The 57 of Joshua Johnson's also on pit road. A lot of guys starting to hit pit road at this point. But Jamie Knopf is still out there.
I have a feeling Knopf maybe go. No, I thought he might have been coming in this time, but he did not. We'll check in, and no, neither is Ballou. He's not coming in. Daniel Simmons, however, is in the 06 machine. So basically, looking at it, your top 7 have not come down right now, as well as I believe, yeah. So top 9 have not come down.
A little bit fresher tires with these guys staying out might not be a bad play. I mean, you can kind of drive up there and have a little bit fresher tires towards the end of the race. It could pay off, but then again, you've got to make up a lot of time. These guys are going to be making up more time out there on new tires. Then you'll be out there on old tires losing a lot of time. So it's a balancing act to be had for sure.
Yeah, and you wonder if some of their strategy would be come in later. You'll have the freshest of tires. Maybe if a caution comes out, you're probably not going to make it on time, but you'll be up towards the front, bunched up, and you'll have the freshest tires in. So there's a lot of different strategies playing out here, and then some of these other guys thinking, I want to get my tires now, and I want to hit front and stay up front because I'm not banking on the caution. Quite frankly, Brody, if it's me, I'm not banking on a caution.
You were looking at the 47. He came in there. I guess he came in hot. He had a speeding penalty, but had to back up into his pit stall. The 15 comes in. This Jake Euler coming into pit road. He's going to find his pit stall and take his pit already. He still has the 48 of him off. Oh, yeah. Well, he was in one of the earlier wrecks, so he's been recovering all night. Get the 26 of both of the Collins coming in, Jonathan and Matthew. Going to hit pit road, take their pit stop. So the only ones we've got left that stayed out there are going to be the 48 of Knopf, who is coming to pits right now on cue. You got Baloo in the 62, who is still out there. And then you've got Belk in the 33, who I believe, let's see if he stayed out or if he stayed out there as well. So,
bright color.
Some different strategies. I like the paint scheme, man. The red and black looks really good, and the yellow accents looks really good.
Yeah, I'm digging the paint job as well. He's staying out. We'll see if he comes in. Blue's not coming in, and it does not look like Belk is coming in. So whatever their strategy is, they're playing a whole different strategy than everybody else. So
their strategies go as long as possible. At this point, I think they're just going to go as long as possible because they're going to hope for a caution, because at this point they've made their bed. If they don't get a caution, we see a car slow in the backstretch there too, right in front of these guys. Looks like he ran out of fuel. I think
here comes the
9's
9
out of fuel. Yeah, so I think he's out of fuel. Not sure if the 62 is as well, but the 9's in the pit road. 62's still out there making laps. But man, you lose so much time out there on the old tires. I mean, he'll have fresher tires at the end, but will it matter? That is the question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I mean, if you got fresh tires, but you run out of fuel and you go a lap down, did you see how squirmy he just got again? It's not going to really help you too much, but he's on a strategy. He's got a plan, or at least he got his bed made and he's got to sleep in it now. One of the two. But I'm interested to see how it works out for him, as he is way slow off the pace now.
Well, you got to remember, he's got damage from hitting the wall earlier too, so he's nursing some damage and old tires and just struggling out there. This was probably his only play to get back in contention here, but I just don't think it's going to work out. I think he's going to come to pits. Well, not this time by, unless he is the caution, and that'll be a whole another wrench thrown in the machine here.
And if the caution does come out and he's not it, there's only 4 cars on the lead lap. So there's going to be a lot of
right now.
runs.
Of the cars that have pitted, the 67 of Wallace is the leader. He did pit a little bit earlier than the 24 of Acosta and the 19 of Coy. But right now, the 67 of Wallace will be your leader when things cycle out.
Well, that may change.
24 is going to change that right now and go to the front. So put Acosta up to P1. Still a good run for the 67 of Wallace after starting in the back. This will be a good day for him for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be a good day for him. Is just reading some chat. You got CMR chatting it up in there. So a big shout out to him for tuning in here tonight. Yeah, it's been a great race. It always is a great race when we tune in here. Maybe not as much strategy. There's always some, but maybe not as much as tonight. And I'm looking forward to see which strategy comes out. Is right now the 62, by the way, damage or no damage, he is still staying out there, still leading this race with a 20-second lead, he's coming in.
Yep, he did everything he could. Hope for a caution. Nothing happened, so he's going to have to come in and take that pit stop, and that's probably going to seal the deal for him as far as fighting for the win here, the contention. Unless the caution comes out, because he will have fresher tires than these other guys. So, if that was his play, that could be interesting as well.
He went right to the limit, 67 laps on fuel. So, man, he pushed that one.
You go as far as you can. I mean, at that point, that's your play. I mean, we saw him fall off a little bit with damage. He's going to come out of pits and rejoin this race here.
Now the closest battle we got is for someone off pace. The 54 was a little off the track. I saw a off-track indicator, but he recovers. And we're talking about Nathan Biggert in the number 01 machine with the 48. That's your best battle on track, and it's go time now. No more pit stops, no nothing, unless we have a caution. It is 100% go time. 19 minutes left on the clock, 43 to go.
I was going to say the elapsed time I'm showing is minute 38 or hour 38 minutes, or hour 39. It's going to be interesting for sure. 18 minutes to go, and how many laps?
42 laps.
So you're looking at 20 minutes for 40 laps.
It is possible. Again, caution sets us into a bad spot, but right now they are set to make it.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting for sure. Hey, listen, I got to give a shout out to these guys for staying green so long, though. To be honest with you, to stay green for this long through pit stops, you see the 42 get late. I about jinxed it, looks like. But but for these guys to stay clean and green for this long in this kind of a race with this car at this track, just a complete testament to these guys for being able to hang on to this car and through the different conditions and the hard racing they've had and everything, just to stay green. And I say this every week, but I can't say enough about the guys that run, because it just makes for some great race. Man, you see these cars you see the 51's out of shape back there. He hangs on to it, but man, you see, I mean, that's a good example of what these guys are dealing with out here with these old tires on these cars, and they want to step out like that.
Yeah, you're right. The car doesn't want to handle, and they're making the best of it. Especially, like I said, we mentioned it a bit ago. They've got a conundrum going on. They want to push it as hard as they can to get as many spots as they can, but on the flip side, they know if I push it too hard, this car is a rolling third, and it will wreck.
Brick. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's don't get me to talk bad about the car. It ain't gonna be hard, but I mean, it is. It's a hard car to handle for sure. I mean, these guys do a great job at dealing with what they're given. Some of them enjoy it more than others, but everybody does a good job of hanging on to the car when it's maybe not the most pleasurable experience to drive. I guess.
Yes.
But no, I mean, and I tell you who's done a great job so far is that 24 of Acosta. He's passed all these guys. He's got himself back up the lead. Got a nice lead to the 19 of Coy, but I tell you, the 67 of Wallace is just kind of hung in right there in second, right behind him. And it may not be over yet, although I think the 24 has a slightly fresher tires, so it's going to be a tough battle. But these guys have kind of separated themselves from Coy, who is about 2.2 seconds back. And then you've got the 48 of Knopf, who is, or Knopf, that's 6.6 seconds back. So, as I said, this is going to kind of separate things and separate the men from the boys. It looks like the 24, we were talking about him locking up, getting into pit road. Well, he pushed it to the max and was able to maximize that entry, maximize the exit. and it's gotten him out to a 2.2 second lead.
Indeed, it has, and again, they're racing for everything right now, and the front is kind of spread out. I'm going way deep in here to the last car in the lead lap, Wayne Grossi and Belk, who, by the way, was up front for a while. They're battling way back in the place. I believe that's 17th place that they're battling for. That is the closest one. Obviously, it looks like Belk is going to walk away with that one. So that was not Belk that he was racing. It was, who was that? I thought it was Belk he was racing. My apologies. I'm not sure who it was, but they drove by him.
I think some of these guys are out on older tires. You see the 7 of Wayne Grossi, man. He's hanging on. You saw him get sideways off turn 4. Some of these guys may be on a little bit different tire strategy, you know. I don't know who does and does not have tires. Let's just see the 62 go by the 21. I haven't called his name tonight. The 21 of John Ross driving there for Fugo Autosport. And I tell you, those cars, again, all the cars at Fugo, they look really good. That's another one of them.
Yeah, they definitely got some nice paint jobs. We'll give you an update since the fans can't see the timer. 15 minutes, 33 laps to go. So it's going to be squeaking it out, I think, by the end, just barely. But we're going to get there. We are going to make it.
Stay green.
Yes.
I'm sitting here saying stay green, because I don't really want this to factor into, you know, but I know everybody's on the same playing field, but I really don't want this to factor into the race if I can help it. Which I can at this point. It's all up to those guys to keep it green. It looks like is Coy kind of closed in here? Let's see. He's got it down to what? 1.39, 1.4 seconds. So he's starting to close in a little bit. Jose's starting to inch out from James a little bit, 0.6, 0.6 of a second. So he could be closing in here a little bit at the end.
He's closing in just a wee little bit as another little battle starting to ensue, and this is family members going at it here. You know, that'd be awful to debut in your race and end up wrecking your own family member. So,
you know, we talked about good-looking cars. There's some good-looking cars too. These aren't necessarily special paint schemes. You see the 26 or 99 get the wall there. Those are some good-looking paints as well. The transit cars, and you know, you got to excuse me because I don't really know these guys. It's a Canadian sponsor for those guys, but I enjoy having Moreau Motorsports, those guys, Nick Moreau and everybody in the league for sure. Some fast guys for sure, some respectful racers, and enjoy having them for sure. But yeah, some good looking paint schemes. I mean, everybody's out there has got, you know, got some really good looking paint schemes tonight and most of the season anyway.
Yeah, they definitely got some nice looking rides out here, and it's looking forward. You know, this is a special edition.
Should I call it wraps? That's the new thing, right? They're wraps.
Yeah, they would be wraps now instead of paint. So they done wrap, you know, like a Christmas present. Yeah. But yeah,
well, I hope these guys wrap it up before we run out of time. That's what's on my mind right now. As you see the 57 looking on the inside of the 99 of LaFleur. That's LaFleur and Joshua Johnson in the 57. The driven-clad Chevrolet there on the inside. You got the 8 of Lane Allen behind him looking on in the Bass Pro Shop Chevy. A new number for him this year. It's the 8. It's pretty cool to see. Reminds me of the old Martin Truex Jr., Dale Jr. Xfinity cars. Remember the 8 car that Martin Truex used to run? Or it was the 81?
Yeah, I did. I remember the car. It's a nice looking car. It is a nice looking car. And, you know, I was just sitting here looking. I was just scouring to find some battles and going on. As we got one going on with Richie Coy now. But with 11 minutes left on the clock, 27 to go, they might want to put this into Mach 1.
Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely. And if Richie wants to have something to do with the 24, he's got to put it in there as well. He finally gets that done. I was gonna say that pass needs to be done quickly. If he's gonna have anything to do with the 24, he's got to get on the move. And the 48 of Knopf is is back there somewhere as well. Looks like he's a ways back, and he's so you can have these guys kind of. There you go. 35 gets out of the way. 48 is going to go around the outside. He could close up here at the end, but again, I think that's Nick Moreau behind him. Almost got the wall off 4.
They got to be really careful. That wall, it's not a Darlington stripe, but it will reach out and get you when it can. You go back here to the 62. He's working his way up there. Again, just like in John, I like his name Blue, just because I like the Jungle Book when I was little. He's in 7th place, though. He is working his way to the front, but honestly, I don't know if he's going to have enough time. I don't know if he'd have enough laps, period. He has got his work cut out for him with 10 minutes to go, 24 laps to go. I don't know if he can do it in 24 laps, though, period.
Yeah. He's got the fresher tires, but I think he's running out of time. The 06 of Daniel is going to run high. Daniel Simmons, and he's going to go right around him, so he's going to move up into 6th place, I'm sorry. And then he's got to chase down Biggert and Knopf, which it looks like Biggert's not too far, about 2 seconds in front of him, so he's got his work cut out for him. As giving it everything, though.
He has, and I was looking here. I'm trying to do the math for the fans out there and for myself mostly. As best I can. All things considered, Brody, to credits to these drivers to put on a clean, competitive races. Well, that almost wasn't clean. At the rate we're going, we're only going to be maybe 3 laps short of the 200. So we're basically going to be to the 200 anyway. So.
But those 3 laps could be critical if is Coy inching in and all in the 24. Looks like he's lost some time, actually. He's 3.2 seconds behind 24 now, so I'm not even sure he can get there. And Jamie Knopf and James Wallace are right there with him.
I'm with you. I'm not sure if it's a possible thing here at the moment. We'll keep an eye on it to see while we watch those. There are little battles going on. There's this one. There's also a little bit going on between the 8 and the 99 as well. So some more little battles going on. Everybody trying to pick up every position. As you mentioned, every position is points. Points mean going to the championship. So they're trying to get every single point they can.
And this is their first opportunity in the B season to get points as well. So you got guys looking at the B season points, wanting to be a contender in the championship, want to get everything they can. And then you've got some guys looking to get into the playoffs at the end of the season as well. And you see those 6 have a moment there off 4. But some of these guys are looking at the playoff points as well, wanting to rack up the playoff points, like the 24 of Acosta. Now, he's got to win already this year. So he's wanting to add to his playoff points for the end of the year. But also maybe wanting to challenge for the B season championship as well. Who knows? He might just be wanting to win. I'm pretty sure all the drivers just want to go out there and win and let everything fall into place. So he's doing a good job right now. As you see the 48 of Knopf looking to the inside of Coy. Looks like Coy may have either burned his stuff up or just the handling's fallen off a little bit or something. He's kind of fallen back into the clutches of the 48 of Knopf, who seems to be a little bit faster at this point. Got a car to avoid right there. It's going to break his momentum, and the 48 is going to look to the inside here going into turn 1.
Yeah, good battle going on for that second position. And, I think Acosta's got the win right now. But, man, they ain't settling for second. They want the win here in second. So,
Look at James. James is like, I'm not done yet. You guys keep fighting. I'm going to get in here and try to do something as well. So he's sitting there just waiting to pounce if something goes wrong. Just all these guys riding right here. And you got Baloo, 11 seconds back? Is that right? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, it looks like he is indeed. Yeah. He's 11.1 seconds behind.
8 back to, or 7.7 back to these guys. But still, I don't think that's enough time. I don't know. I don't think he's got enough time. I think he's used enough of his tires. He's not going to be able to challenge Acosta, but he may be able to make up some spots. This battle will not go away for second, though.
No.
That 48 continues to try to find a way around the 19 of Coy. He's clearly faster, but just cannot find a way to get around him.
And then you got the lap car coming in. That's not helping. And I'm pretty sure they made a little contact just now. Or not just now, a few moments ago. A little bit of a tap to the door side of the 19s. They are anywhere from being done. They are way far from it.
Did you see how far the 48 drove into that corner to get to the outside of the 19? Now, he's in the perfect position now. But, man, he drove into that corner to make that work. That was impressive. He's going to get this run off turn 2, and I think complete the pass here off of turn 2, maybe. And, yes, he does.
Yeah, it's one of those things with any type of racing. If you want to do, like you said, you can't follow the leader if you want to get around him, and he finally does. You've got to do what you got to do. Who is that back there?
Yeah,
not sure who that was. I think it was a lap car, but
yeah. Oh, you got the 01. Just slapped the wall off turn 4 as well. Things are starting to get a little shaky.
Yeah, I have a feeling some of these guys getting a little nervous, and we got one off track, and he gets it going. He does not bring out the caution. He does a little extracurricular, though. That is the TJ Bartell, the 20, who went a little off-roading.
New paint scheme, new number for TJ, so it's hard for me to pick him out. Yeah, he's had a rough night tonight. Not running where he wants to run for sure, but where's he actually at?
He is marred back. He is in 26th right now.
26th. Yeah, he I think got in one of those first few accidents, so he's had a rough night, just trying to rebound back. So he's looking to have a better night maybe next week, but tonight's just not his night. You see the 9, which is actually the 33 on the timing and scoring. That is Belk. Something happened on pit stops because I thought he was running towards the front. Now he's in 13th spot, so not the night he wanted as well.
Definitely not.
What's your time looking like?
We are at 4 minutes, 12 laps.
Jeez. That math doesn't work out for me. 30 minutes a lap?
30 minutes? I hope not 30 minutes.
I mean, 30 seconds a lap.
I mean, that math still
you
doesn't.
See look at this battle. The 19's in the wall, the 67 sideways off the corner. Wallace does get that position now. Move Wallace up to third. I tell you what, Coy's falling off right here.
Yeah, someone needs to get in chat and tell him that those subs aren't any good again. He's forgot already. But who was it? We got another one off track, but he gets it back going. Yeah, I think this race belongs to Acosta. He has got a huge lead over the rest of the field.
Yeah. 4.2 second gap over the 48 of Knopf, and then you got Wallace in third. Man, huge shout out to Wallace, though, coming from the back to finish third, to run in third place, hopefully finish in third. Great job for him to kind of fight his way through the field from the back. I'm sure he'll be excited about that. Look forward to talking to him. Coy, man, I don't know. Richie's just kind of, his car's falling off here. I thought he was going to charge up and challenge the 24, but he's got nothing for him. The 24 is on rails right now. The 48's the guy in second, the one that's going forward, but even for him, I don't think he's got the pace of the 24. And 24 just has the clean air. I mean, that's probably the key. With the 48 and the 19 fighting, it's cost them a lot of time, and the 24 has just been clear selling out front. I mean, he's done a great job. What can you say? I mean, we even noted when he came into pits, he was giving everything he could into the pit lane.
Yeah, he was doing everything. Yeah, the math is officially not adding up for me either, by the way. 2 minutes left on the clock. But I'm going to go back here. We got a good battle going on. We're about 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. These guys, they don't care. Time, no time. They're going to battle it out.
Man, I hate that too because, we've seen some great battles back here for sure. The 8, the 57, you got the 22's in this now, the 9, which is the 33. You got, all these guys trying to close up here and trying to do everything they can to get that last spot for sure. Wow, just some great racing. 57's, he's hanging on out there.
He is indeed hanging on. So we'll keep an eye on this one. You know, we would go to the leader at the last lap, but we're going to go for the last minute. We'll stay with him as this battle is starting to really brew between Lane Allen in there. Not Lane Allen. You got Joshua Johnson, John Ross, Michael Blackner. And I'm liking that Michael Blackner's number 22 machine. He's got a really nice looking, paint job for the holidays. And it's Red Bull.
Yeah.
Red Bull.
Yeah, it's a good looking paint scheme for Memorial Day. Yeah, I don't know. We got 5 to go. I don't think we're going to get all the laps in, unfortunately. So I'm telling you what, it ain't going to matter up front. The 24 is just run away from everybody else. He's in a league of his own at this point. 4.8 seconds back to the 48 of Knopf. James Wallace has taken that 3rd spot. I think Richie challenged for him, but it ain't going to be enough, I don't believe. So 4 to go. And probably less than that, honestly.
Yeah, we got 4 to go with 15 seconds on the clock.
So they should get the white flag this time by. We'll see how the thing works. The timer works to give you the white flag. So we'll have 1 to go here at the line. Just not enough time for Blue to make up time either on these guys. He's 3 seconds back. And as a matter of fact, it looks like we're going to finish it up. So there's the 24 with tonight's race. I don't even know what the mileage count would be, but that is the 24 taking home the checkered flag here at Charlotte, taking his first win in the first race of 2024B.
We were 3 laps short, so if you do, that'd be 1.5 miles, so that's 3.5 miles short of 200 miles.
Well, the good news, Charles, is we don't go over our 2-hour limit. So, unfortunately, I didn't change it. I still ended up being about the same. So, hey, credit to this racing out there for sure. Great job to everybody for keeping it clean and green there at the end. We almost made it. But this guy doesn't care, and I don't think it would have mattered for the win anyway. This guy has checked out on the field 4 seconds ahead of everybody else and brings home the win here at Charlotte. Doing his celebratory burnouts and enjoying the Memorial Day donuts, if you will.
And we'll let him do his celebrating. As you see the fireworks going off in the back, so we're going to take a look at your unofficial race results. And we knew it was coming. Acosta was on rails here tonight. Gets the win in the 24. Followed by Jamie Knopf, James Wallace, Richie Coy, John Ballou, Nathan Biggert, Matthew, I'll still pronounce that, Pecan. I'll get it right eventually, or someone else will announce, one of the two. Daniel Simmons, Randy Belk, and John Ross going to be your top 10.
In 11th place is going to be the 57 of Joshua Johnson. 12th place is going to be Lane Allen in that Chevrolet. The 13th place is going to be Michael Blackner in the 22 Fury Motorsports machine. 14th is going to be Danny LaFleur for Moreau Motorsports. 15th, the 11 of Tony Solari. 16th is going to be the 51 of John. That is not John. That is Bill Hall. Jonathan McCon is going to finish 17th in the 97 machine. James Torrey is going to round out 18th place. 19th is Wayne Grassi in the 7 Pennzoil machine, and rounding out your top 20 is going to be the 54 of Alan Crowell.
In 21st through the rest of the field to be like 33 is going to be Ryan Hedrick, Nicholas Monroe, Brian Dublé as well. Hey, got that one right finally. Jay Euler, Ben Tracy, TJ Bartell, Kyle Milliken, Jeff Chandler, Dave Nestor, Sherwood Williford, and the last 3 going to be Alan DeRocco, Joseph Grahala, and Colton Gum in the 33 spot. And well, they did a fantastic job here, Brody. And we'll take a look at that race summary presented by 811 at Charlotte. 4 total cautions, 16 caution laps, 24 different lead changes. Ironically, it's the 24 that's in victory lane. Yeah,
absolutely. What a great race, man. A lot of racing out and back and forth. up front, through the pack. A lot of green flag racing too. A long green flag around the end. These guys are going to be tired after that, but what a great race, man! What an awesome race these guys have put on.
Yeah, definitely a fantastic race for sure. We'll step aside. We'll be back here just a few moments, and we'll talk to the top three and get their thoughts on it. A time shortened race, but not by much. Only 3 laps, so basically the full 200 anyway. We'll talk to them about that and more when we get back. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And now we get to talk to the top 3, and we already hear them laughing, having a good time. That's always good. We'll start with our third place driver, and that is, of course, James Wallace. James, you get third here, and unfortunately, the weather report said there was lightning in the area. We had to call the race 3 laps short, but overall, a really good race for you to get a podium finish. First off, congrats on that. And, overall, was the car to your liking? Anything you need to change on it to think you maybe could have got the win?
Well, first, I appreciate it. I love the car. This was a good week. We in fact, we really started building the week before, the off week and stuff during the All-Star week. I don't know. I mean, Jose seemed like he was on rails, man. He didn't really fall off. I saw the other guys' strategies, and that last pit, I don't forget, I think I was 5th or something, and I felt like I had speed better than some of them, and I pitted early, hoping I was just going to hopscotch them or whatnot, and Jose those tires were just too good. Jamie as well. Had some real good battles with Jamie and Jose.
Yeah, James, I was watching kind of you all night. You started in the back. I don't think you took a qualifying lap. Man, worked your way all the way from the back to the front. Kind of talk us through and tell us about working your way through all that traffic. And we had 33 cars tonight. There's a lot of traffic to work through. How do you pace yourself and keep patience when you've got a long way to go to get to the front?
With this week was weird to me because normally I know what you mean, and I try to save the tires generally, at the beginning of a run. And this car, at least this week with the setup, it felt like if you saved more, it almost got looser longer. Like, so you sort of had to drive it hard so it would balance out. Or at least that's how I was trying to do it. So it was fun. I won't lie. It was fun driving through there and stuff. Little hectic at times. It's full of good drivers, so it's fun to be able to trust that you can go 2 wide or 3 wide in some cases, and then race for it. Not really second guess it because you're worried about getting doored or some crap.
Again, congrats on the third place finisher. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to? And I may have stole that from Brody.
Y'all LSRTV putting us on, Full Throttle, of course, and HB for hosting us. My team Boomerang. We always have fun on Monday nights.
Definitely looking forward to seeing you here in the podium more times this season. Again, Again, congrats on that. And we got the clarification on this name, so we would not get it wrong, and we did not all night. So we're proud of ourselves. At least I am. I assume Brody is too. And that is our second place runner, Jamie Knopf. Jamie, you get second place here tonight. And we heard you needed those 3 laps. You could have caught up to Jose and beat him.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I really didn't need those 3 laps because James was actually catching me back at the end. But yeah, man, I had a real good run. The race was pretty awesome. A bunch of 2, 3 wide most of the race, and I just tried to keep myself toward the front. So when the tires wore out, sometimes it was hard to pass because 2 people were in front of you battling. There was nowhere to go, so I tried to get myself toward the front, toward the last of the pitting. And then I was behind Jose for the last pit cycle, and I ran about 6 more laps than him, thinking, maybe that would help me on the long run, instead of splitting it in the middle. But I just had to burn them up too much trying to make speed because I was like 7 or 8 seconds back. And then, so naturally you just, I got to go hard. And then everybody I got to and tried to pass, they raced pretty hard there. So I burnt most of my stuff up trying to pass. So I think if I would have pitted sooner and come back out second or third at the worst, I would have been in a lot better shape. But Jose was really fast all night, and congratulations to him and his crew. They did an awesome job.
Well, Jamie, I know we saw you more the second half of the race than the first half of the race. My first thought is, did the track change a lot from the daytime to the nighttime? I know we have that transition going on. And if so, did you notice a change in the car, and did you work on your setup to be better at night versus at day, knowing that this race is going to finish at night?
I actually had it set up a little free. That way, when it did get a little cooler and the track cooled off, that it wouldn't get tight with me. But at the beginning of the run, the first stage was 50 laps, so I kind of paced myself so I wasn't in the lead and the caution come out on lap 30 and I didn't cook my tires or something. So I kind of paced myself the first segment, and then we had a couple cautions there, and then we all got new tires, and I think we went 30 more laps and the caution come out or close to that. So I was kind of pacing right there, and then I was like, well, I just need to, I wanted to be toward the front when we get closer to the end. And so I tried to stay in that top 5 or 6 range after that. And so I'd pushed a little harder earlier just to get up there and get in line, and then try to save tires a little bit without punishing them. But the track, really, it was so cool to start with. I don't know if it changed a lot, but the long run, I did get tight on the long run right there at the very end. But I think it was just because I was pushing so hard, and then I had to battle, 2 or 3 different drivers there for 5 laps or 10 laps just to try to get by. Because it's real hard to pass on the bottom when the tires wear out.
Well, again, second place, nothing to be ashamed of. It's a good run here, good points night, and we know you got some sponsors and stuff on the side of the car. Who would those be to get you in second place today?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Team Connie for the awesome setup and driver development, and Pink Magic Tire Prep, and everybody on the team for all their input during the race. And they would say, oh, it's rough back here, it's battling, or up here at the front, they side by side. We all kind of tell each other what's going on, where we at. So that helps, during the race also.
Jamie, before you take off, when's the next time we're going to see you actually on track on the dirt go-kart side?
Probably this Saturday at Liberty, North Carolina. I think they got a website, Liberty Raceway Park, or official Liberty Raceway, and they do live streaming on all the races, I think. So you can click on there and watch every race live.
Well, that's awesome. I just wanted to get that out there. I know some of the guys like watching some of the local stuff, and it'd be cool to kind of see one of our own out there. So just wanted to make sure we got that out there.
Heck yes. And like thank you guys for the broadcast, and Brody for everything he does for the league, and being in the booth, because he's a racer also. He can kind of tell you what we thinking while we out there almost.
Well, congrats on second, and go get the win this weekend as well in the go-karts. And speaking of our winner, we'll go ahead and we'll pop that up on the screen for victory lane. fueled by Victory of Fuel. That is none other than Jose Acosta. Jose, you get the win here tonight, and while unfortunately the lightning was striking and the race got called 3 laps, I don't think anybody had anything for you there. You were pulling away from second and third as it was. So, same kind of question is in the car. Was it just hooked up tonight? Because you were a front runner all night, and then the later it got seemed the faster that car got.
Testing. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we got you.
Yeah, we got you, man.
Cool. Yeah, man. I was surprised that the car was actually fast tonight. I haven't been practicing for the past three weeks. I have been out of iRacing for the past 3 weeks, so this is actually my first race, and it feels good to literally come in and win the way that I did. It was crazy at how I got the lead at the end, because it was a 3Y with Richie and I think it was Jimmy Knopf. And I don't know, man. Like, I thought that when they pitted, they were gonna end up ahead of me, and then when I pitted, I ended up ahead of them. So I was like, I don't know what happened. I was just watching the replay here, and I see Big Art. He kind of was trying to pit with Richie, and he missed the pit. So I see why he was in the back. I'm not sure if it would be a different result if everybody pitted, if they didn't do any mistake. But it was actually good for me, man. I actually feel that the car was actually doing really good at the end. I was actually trying to save tire when I was in the front. Trying to keep an eye how distant they were from me. Once I got the lead, I could do whatever, I could either go fast, go slow, and to be honest, I forgot completely that tonight it was actually it's supposed to be 167 laps from what I understand. Last time I checked the Discord, so it caught me off guard when Richie said, there's only 34 minutes remaining, and I'm like, oh, okay, and that's when I, started trying to come up with a strategy. And when I saw everybody pitting, I was just, let me just do like maybe 2-3 more laps. I think that's what I did. I pitted, and again, I came out in front of everybody, and to my surprise, I was ahead, and that was it basically. I was just hoping for the end that there was no yellow flag, and yeah, we went all the way till I actually got the checker flag, man.
Well, Jose, you both hoping for no cautions, because then we were kind of cutting it close on time for sure. But
Yeah.
man, you did a great job to get here in Victory Fuel Victory Lane. Man, just a great drive, man. You were up there all night, one of the challengers all night. And that last pit stop, we were actually following you when you came into pits. You got everything out of the car getting on the pit road. And I think that might have been the difference as far as the intervals go. Look, you got everything you could coming into and coming out of pit road. So talk to me about have you worked on making sure that you can get the most on pit road, or is that something that just kind of comes natural to you? And also, talking about the race links, did endurance kind of come into play here with the longer green flag run there at the end? No cautions. It was kind of a long green flag run.
On the pit thing, Charlotte is one of my good track, so I know how to like kind of come into pit. In practice, I did practice coming to pit like 3 times, and then I was like, okay, yeah, that's it. This is how I have to pit in. And to be honest, I think on that last pit, I almost sped up. I almost came in, and I was a little bit hot, but they didn't got no penalties. And yeah, if it's a longer race, it is gonna come into play in endurance. You have to actually, make sure you don't wear your tires, because you're always gonna end up in the back if you wear your tires too early. So I was kind of like learning what everybody had in the beginning, and see how much they were pushing, and I was kind of like pushing also with them, and then kind of like letting them pass me on the high side, if anything, so I could save more tire than anybody else. So there was in a couple situations where I was stuck up high and I didn't have nowhere to go, so I had to like pass everybody. And then as soon as I passed everybody, I had to come down save tire real quick. And that was the whole strategy during the whole race. Kind of, watch my tires, watch what everybody was doing, try to make sure that I didn't fall back too far, because I knew the passing was going to be an issue. So I kept it in front. I'll make sure that I didn't have any problem with anybody else, and making sure I was hitting my mark every lap.
Well, you had a fantastic run here tonight, obviously getting the win, and I believe, I don't want to overstep here, but at least some drink may be in the future. But regardless of that, no, I'm not sure if that's still a thing, but we'll confirm. It is. Okay, so you getting some free drink. If not, I'll take it. But anyway, and we know you got some sponsors on the side of that machine you got to thank. So who are those for putting you in victory lane here tonight?
Well, the Wolfpack.com, and obviously the Wolfpack Racing team. I'm gonna give a shout out to FRTS, to Victory Lane also, because those are the ones that are gonna keep me energized next week with the drink. And to everybody that joined, the race, especially to my teammate Dave Nestor. He actually soldiered up today. He had a bad wreck, and even though he was wounded, he ended the race, and he finished the race in 4 tires. So shout out for him. Shout out for my son that he's in the back. He was watching me race, and he actually saw his dad win. So shout out to my son, and everybody in the top 3, and you guys in the booth.
Oh yeah, congrats on the win, and Brody, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up here tonight. Your final thoughts on tonight's race?
Well, Jose just did a great job on the last pit stop. It was the difference. I think it's just as far as getting on and off the pit road, having a great stop. Again, can't say enough. I don't know how many laps we went green there at the end, but it was like at least 80 laps or more. I can't even remember. But these guys, just shout out to everybody for keeping it clean and green out there. Saw some great racing, some side-by-side 2 and 3 wide racing. Just typical stuff you see every week with these guys putting on an awesome show in this Cup Series, the Mach 1 Performance Cup Series. And shout out to Victory Fuel for continuing to fuel victories. Got Jose the win there. It's going to help him out next week. These guys are going to have a tough road to hoe next week too. We got Gateway coming up, so looking forward to Worldwide Technology Raceway next week with these guys here at Full Throttle Sim Racing.
Well, definitely looking forward to that. And on behalf of myself, Brody, Jason, who apparently is stuck at work, Wesley, who is doing another series, Jeff Stabnow, everyone at the LSRTV crew, we hope you have a safe rest of your week. We'll see you back here Wednesday for the trucks, as we are off for our 10 o'clock race for Memorial Day. So we'll see you next Wednesday, and then we'll see you next Monday after that. Till then, stay safe. We'll see you there.